Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples of the world. Welcome all to episode 327 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show that we do here every Tuesday from usually 4:15 p.m. Eastern to 7:15 p.m. Eastern, focusing on story and narrative in games. And today we are continuing with the game that you see on your screen, Talisman Adventures, sponsored as always by Pegasus Spiele. I am very happy to have the crew with us, and I hope everyone is doing well. And this music is actually comes to you from Greenforge Studios, Thorville, which is a group that we have associations with. And of course, the video that you just saw was done by Peripheral Mike, who is very good at that sort of thing. And in case you want to know more, you should check out more of Mike's work, because we have a whole bunch of videos already on my channel, my personal channel, and other stuff coming down the line. And the D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which you're going to be seeing next week, that is also Mike's video. So just before we get started, a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow us here on GOG.com's Twitch channel. Please make sure to subscribe to us here on GOG.com as well. You can get those custom sub badges and DRM free emotes and all that kind of good stuff. And if you haven't already done so, please consider as well clicking through to our individual channels, because we have our own individual subsystems and Patreons and all that kind of good stuff, which is helpful as well. Quick note about upcoming schedule. We have got this going on today, and then next week, as I said, D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And I do want to put on everyone's radar screen that we have got my charity convention, which we run every year, called ARFCon, which is in its 8th consecutive year. We have raised over $20,000 to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, and that is going to be running a week from this Friday. So a week from this Friday is the beginning of that charity event that's going to be hosted over on my channel. But I mention it here because, number one, we are going to have a one-shot with a number of the people from the D&D with GOG / Talisman Adventures crew. So we're going to have a number of those folks with us. And two, I mention it because GOG.com is, as I'm going to be announcing very soon, one of the folks who are going to be one of the companies that are going to be supporting us. So I am very, very happy to thank GOG.com for their support. I will again make the official announcement about this later in the week. I was supposed to announce the ARFCon stuff earlier today. I could not do that. My son had serious dental work this morning, and I am still not feeling all the way up to snuff. And so I ended up having to cancel Adventures in Middle-earth, which I absolutely hated with every fiber of my being. But, as I hope people understand, family has to come first in this case. So, but I am here now and going to do my best I can to stop from coughing up a lung while on here on channel. I've got my Ricola drops and I'm all good to go. And most importantly, of course, I have the incredible GOG crew with us. So I'm going to unmute myself to let them know that we are ready to go. I will, as always, apologize to them for having interrupted their awesome and amazing conversations, which no doubt were happening. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head on over to reveal to you the incredible crew. Here we see them in their natural habitat. And that is the incredible crew of Talisman Adventures here on GOG.com. I am joined, as always, by these lovely people that you see below you, or below me, I guess, not below you, unless you're staring down at your phone or something. And who am I to judge? But looking down from below me, hello, everyone. It feels like one of those, the Brady Bunch, like it's the story, everyone waving at each other on the, on the screen. But it is good to see these lovely folks. And I'm going to begin, as always. Yes, I have GOG alerts on, Echo. Yes, I do. I'm going to start, as always, with the wonderful person right below here and first in the column. That, of course, is the stream team leader, Pyron Jade. I hope all is doing okay, Pyron. How are you? How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
Life in the universe is a little bit exhausting currently. Lots of things happening in real life, but we're getting there. Yes, and also it's game night. So life already a lot better here with all of these wonderful people. And I just realized when I was destroying things, no, when I was holding up my book, that I still had some papers in there. This is because I actually did a session of Talisman Adventures for my 10-year-old and his best friend and my husband. And I have to say, yeah, this is really, really good it's very, very accessible. I tested it on kids. So that's the thing.
Tested on kids and your husband, unless you're counting your husband.
We just get a sticker. No. Can we ask Page to just get a sticker on the front of the next revision of the book, tested on children?
Yeah, exactly. Kid tested, mom approved or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was like really nice little murder mystery. And who I'm playing tonight? I'm playing Regina Augusta III, who's a sprite who can fly, which is really nice in a swamp if you don't want to get wet feet. And she likes to throw stuff at people, creatures, trees. Please keep on with the list in your head. And she also likes traveling with her companions.
That's true. And the current travel has been not the most uplifting travel of all the ones that they've ever done since we began our story in a swamp. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. But yes, also you forgot to mention that you enjoy traveling with donkeys because you've made good friends with this current donkey companion that you have with you pulling the cart. So there's
donkey, ghost dog, people with loot.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's perfect. It's a perfect kind of group. Always a pleasure to have Pyron with us. Also a pleasure to have Darksaber 2K with us. Darksaber, who I was lurking in the stream of the other day because Darksaber has started Baldur's Gate, has entered the club of the good game known as Baldur's Gateville. I hope you are enjoying it as much. Actually, you should tell me while you're letting me know how life is and who you're playing today, what your party makeup is. Like who's in your party, Saber, and also how are you otherwise?
Oh, well, yeah, it's been a lot of Baldur's Gate. Generally doing very, very good. Keep him busy, up to and including about 3 minutes before we started getting ready. When I looked at the time, I was like, oh, crap. So I've been rushing around, but I'm caught up, catching my breath a moment now. My party makeup at the moment. So I'm a human fighter. I decided to go for something basic but very survivey for my first time playing because I've heard how difficult Baldur's Gate can be.
Right.
And after being on the receiving end of a lightning bolt spell for the first time, yikes.
Yep, no fun.
Got Immerwin.
Yep.
Khalid and Jahil.
Okay.
Who, I don't know, I like them. I like them. They're fun characters. Just in fact encountered a ranger called, what was his name? Kevin, I think it was.
Okay.
Kyvan.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And who was number 6? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank on him. No, that was it. 2, 3, 4. No, there was a 5th. I can't remember who it was now. Oh, Nisa. Nisa the Wild Mage.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, despite the fact that she did have a habit of color spraying the entire party during her introduction encounter.
How far are you in at this point?
We have just made our way down to where the area where the mines is. I can't remember the name of the town now, but I got sick of my weapons breaking. It's like, right, that's it. We're going to the mines.
Go to the mines. There's a certain prominent character, which I will not spoil, but I look forward to seeing what you think when you actually encounter said character.
I think I know the character. It's like, even if you haven't played Baldur's Gate, he's pretty much the one character everyone knows.
For great justice, yes. For great justice. That's awesome. I love that game. When not playing Dungeons and Dragons and enjoying your regular life, who are you playing on this game?
Tonight, I'm going to be Reginald Shuan, Ghoul Druid of the Lands and Tender of Graves and Companion of the Ghost Puppy Boots, who is not having the best time in this swamp that also served a time as a dumping ground for assassins, being sort of attuned to souls and spirits and of a psychic disposition. He can kind of feel like the anger and confusion and sadness of all the unfortunate souls that are trapped here, and he's not having a good time of it. Probably more so than the rest of the party. The rest of the party are more like, I'm damp. These mosquitoes suck. I'm like, I can hear voices all the time.
Spirits of the dead. You're like, yeah. It's going to be great. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how everyone else handles mosquitoes and you handle spirits of the dead. There may be more of those coming up, but always a pleasure to have Saber with us. And also thank you again, as always, for Moobot and Dashboard and all that good stuff. It really does help. So thank you. Thank you. Moving on right down the line, we have the person who is responsible for the video that a couple of you were raving about again, watching. And let me just say that, as I mentioned, Peripheral Mike, who's with us, will be involved with other things. I feel like these days, most of what is involved is, Mike's got his regular job, and then he's like, right, what stuff does Arv need me to do from today? Because like, I'm just like, Mike, can you do this? Mike, I need this. Mike, can you do this? Which is, I always tell people, if you just sucked at your job, I wouldn't come back and ask you these things. So just start sucking at your job, and I won't ask you. But no, in all seriousness, Mike is amazing at this stuff, and I am super lucky to have him as that. He's also a really good dude. And Mike, how's life in the universe treating you, and who are you playing in our game today?
God damn my professional pride. So I just need to be bad at my work. I need to deliver you like the worst trailer possible.
Exactly. If you give me one that's just like a bunch of GeoCities leftovers, I'll just be like, okay, thanks. Like, I'll call you next time.
Going back to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, duly noted. Yeah, I'm doing really well, to be honest with you. Life is good, work is good, work is busy. Day job work is really busy at the moment. There's a lot of educational stuff kicking off, so I'm involved in a project that tries to get young people involved in careers in tech. I didn't have what people would call a conventional entry into a tech career. I kind of accidentally got into tech and have just kind of flourished, and I'm not kind of code oriented. I know enough code to get myself in trouble, and then I have the internet to get me out of it. Essentially, that's kind of my tagline. And I say this in front of conferences, I say this in front of our CEO, and they all laugh. And I'm like, no, really, you don't pay me to code. You pay me to encourage people to code, and you pay me to do other bits and pieces. So, but day job work is going really well as well. Obviously, I've got the work for yourself. I am also producing a new course for LinkedIn Learning on machine learning. There's a lot of learnings in that sentence, with a small AI-controlled car as well, which is really cool. It means I get to play with remote control cars and artificial intelligence, which is fantastic. Okay. Loads and loads of other stuff. My training is also going really well. I announced on social media recently that I'm officially undertaking Strongman Training. So with the current trajectory, I will be applying for my first contests in December. I think I will, given my weight bracket. So fingers crossed that all goes well and there's no injuries, touch wood. But if you want to follow that progress, you can follow that on Instagram at Peripheral Mike. And today I'm going to be playing my metaphysical counterpart Lump, who is a troll warrior who I am trying to embody every time I enter the gym, who is just kind of not really along for the ride at this point, but he's just kind of got himself involved in a group of people. He knows Weds, but he's got himself involved with a group of people and is now just trying to get the unconscious human to the place so that he can move on with things. He's found himself in a very, very sad swamp. That's true. Summed it up.
It's true, a very sad swamp. And actually, Lump was hugely important in our last session because Lump is the one that kind of kept everyone's spirits up and kept everyone, managing and kind of getting through okay. And as someone said, a couple of people mentioned, they would love to just have Lump reading them bedtime stories because it was just very like, well, everything is fine. Everything.
I'm working on that too.
That would be a great alternate career. If this tech thing doesn't work out, if you could just read children's stories, it's a bubble. Anyway. It's a growth industry right there. No, it's always a pleasure to have Mike with us. Thank you, Mike. Always good to see you, and also very good to see Undeveloped Bruce back with us once again, with a new entry into the household, by the way, which. I will say, without getting into details, chat, that several of us were not in the best state earlier on today. I have had a difficult day myself, for example. But the production of a picture was one way to get us back uplifted. So thank you publicly, Bruce, for that. And you feel free to let us know what the general, not the details if you don't want to, but the general thing about what I'm talking about, like who's entered your household and who are you playing today?
Yeah. Hi. So I'm Undeveloped Bruce, and I've not had a baby. I've got a dog. I've adopted an ex-racing greyhound. She's called Moog, which means smoke in Welsh, because she's black but she's got like these little white dots going up her chest, like smoke signals. And she's been here for a few weeks now, and she's absolutely adorable and noble, and she sleeps just all of the time, and makes me jealous, to be honest, because she sleeps all through the night, and then we go for a walk, and then while I'm at work all day, I'm working my butt off to buy her treats and new toys and everything, and she's just sleeping all day. We need to, like, I wish I was a greyhound. I'd sleep forever.
And by the way, you have just been given a gift sub by Echo Alpha X5 in the chat. So thank you, Echo Alpha, for that gift sub. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you saw, I did indeed have the alerts on, as you mentioned. No, that's awesome. And as I say, that picture, this dog looks very noble, as I mentioned. Like, the picture is just the dog, like, dramatically, and Bruce also dramatically looking like this, but the dog dramatically looking off, like very, very thoughtful, so very, very cool. When not tending to your dog, how is life otherwise, and who are you playing today?
I once you get a dog, I don't think you have a life otherwise.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lion in weeks, and I can't leave the house or go and see friends or go to the cinema or go to conferences. So I didn't think of this aspect of dog parenting, but it's all worth it. And in this campaign, I am playing Weddle Weds Cragman, who is a dwarf from down the crags, up the crags even. The crags are all the way up the north, to be honest. And he's a minstrel, and he plays this amazing instrument. It's called the crwth, and it's a type of bowed lyre. Now, I'm not going to bang on about it, but some people do sometimes think of it as a lute, which is completely ridiculous, if you ask me, but there we go.
Yeah.
And he loves to sing songs and just get along with his friends and tell stories and have a good time, really.
And has done so quite well and effectively with this party so far, as the party has been brought together in mysterious circumstances and across, strange places to bring them into the middle of this swamp. So it is a pleasure to have Bruce with us. Thank you. And let us get into this situation. Let me fire up a little bit of music here. Let's see, what do I have? I have got Salt Marsh. Well, that seems appropriate. Let me put up some Salt Marsh here. Make sure they got the sound. There we go. Perfect. In our last session, the crew that you see before you of Talisman Adventures is traveled from the town of Greymist. They were brought down in the first place, or at least Reginald and Regina were brought down here. They had been asked to come down here to investigate some strange situation that was happening. And they discovered that indeed there was something strange, and specifically that there is a human being that is currently unconscious in a coma because apparently of a curse which has been placed upon this individual. This individual, whose name is Morris, was sitting in this inn in the rather unfortunate town of Greymist, where was basically told by the innkeeper, the party was, that he couldn't afford to keep him there, but you can't just toss him outside because he's not dead, and there are some things you just don't do, and blah, 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 blah. And he was also holding a flower, a briar rose, and what the party has noticed is that one petal from this rose has fallen every day, and I believe as we're moving into the third day, there is one petal remaining upon this rose. So they are, assuming they're calculating this properly, they are running out of time to be able to get this. And so the only thing that they found to do was to travel to the east. And into the town of Fishburg, so that they can attempt to find someone who might be able to break this curse and be able to gather information about how to break the curse ultimately. Because the party has also discovered that the curse may have been leveled by a vengeful ex-lover, or a vengeful lover who was not so much ex and was, not happy about the fact that Morris seemed to think differently. There was a love note that was found from Morris to someone else as well, and so the party is basically trying to find out how to save Morris, how to deliver him to the place where he needs to go, and how to get there without basically losing him. There have been a few bumps in the road, I think it's fair to say. There was an encounter with bandits where the donkey with the wagon holding Morris was almost lost. They managed to stop that. There was an encounter with an ensorcelled troll that was guarding a bridge that was halfway broken through, but the troll believed that it was a beautiful, like, in perfect shape stone bridge until they managed to break that curse and then repair said bridge. And then when they got to the other side of this place, they found themselves wandering through this swamp, heading back to the east. And as they were heading back to the east and entering the swamp, they found their way to a strange fountain, which was basically in the center of this swamp, looking like a relic of an ancient time, maybe before the swamp even had been built up around it. The party managed to determine some things about that fountain, and although they were quite depressed, and many of them actually didn't even want to leave and just wanted to give up, again, a couple of pep talks from Lump and some general goodwill, a little bit of music from Weddle and all the rest, and the party managed to pull themselves together enough to emerge and make their dreary way onward through the gray swamp as they make their way towards the village of Fishburg. And so as we pick up things, we are here in the midst of this swamp. And I believe the last thing that we left was just that they were leaving and that there was this little bit of a glow around the fountain that they had just left. I believe was the little cinematic leftover that we had. And so as we are headed east, it's probably about an hour or two, I would say, to the east that you've been passing through, just kind of slogging along through the mist and the marsh as you sort of sink down. It's slow going. You've had to pull your boots up and out of the swamp repeatedly. The donkey himself seems none too pleased, although the donkey never really feels that pleased. But you've had to kind of give the donkey some encouragement to get out of these miry, marshy, boggy areas. The wagon itself has almost gotten stuck a few times. And I would say that no one's in a particularly wonderful mood as you are progressing through this difficult area. And I would say probably 2 hours after you've encountered that fountain, the following happens. You've traveled for several hours contending with the cold and mist and rain, when you begin to hear faint whispers that you first mistake for nothing more than the wind whistling through the tall reeds. But soon you realize that there's something more. The whispers coalesce into lamenting moans of the lost souls, perhaps of those who have died or been disposed of in the marsh. And the person who hears this first, most clearly, is Reginald, who, as he's moving along, can hear the sound of these creatures. And you hear the voices of, "I should have said hi to him when I had the chance. I didn't find the thing. Oh, if only I'd done what I could, I might have been the greatest instead of this waste of rotting flesh. I thought that I would be with my family when I died, but it's not true. I'm so alone here." And so on and so forth. The voices agonize over their failures and what they did not do in life and the loss and the sadness. And the voices rise in pitch until you can feel their cries of despair to your bones. I need all four of you, please, to make a test for me. A teft. Please make a teft. Please make a test for me. And it is a craft test that I'm going to be asking you to make. So you're going to be making a test using your craft. We're going to see whether or not you can pass this as this moaning echoes. Why am I impersonating a schizophrenic episode? Not my intention, my friend, not my intention. But this is kind of rough for these folks.
Could you just remind me how to make a craft test? Is it 3d6 plus craft?
Sorry, I'm going to be periodically muting myself so I can cough my head off. Yes, it is going to be, that is correct, using the handy-dandy check of the tablet, which I will always give lots of credit to, thanks to our own Pyron. The Talisman RPG skill checks. This is simply a craft check, so you do obviously have that skill, so you're going to be rolling a 3d6. This is not actually, there's no focus in this skill in particular, so I'm going to say that it's just 3d6 that you're going to be rolling, and then you'll add your craft to that. So 3d6 plus craft.
Okie dokie. Here comes my dumpster.
Okay, Reginald with the 19. Interesting, okay. Let's see. We have got Weddle with an 11. And then we have got Regina with a 10. And do I see on the horizon a dark fate? Is that what I see from that, Regina? Is that?
I do.
Yes, but I see a double 3 for Weddle.
Excuse me.
I see a triple 2, not a double 3.
And a
see
double 6 for...
Not for Weddle. You mean for Lump?
No.
triple-
Wed's got trips.
Oh, yes, if it succeeds. That, however, is not a success. The trips only work if you also pass the number, and unfortunately, Weddle did not. Otherwise, that would have been awesome. But sadly not. However, I can see that Lump is, made of stronger stuff and has gotten an additional light fate. And speaking of that, by the way, Reginald, I have you at 2 out of 6 light fate. Is that
correct?
Is that right? And Regina, I have you at 0 out of 6 light fate because I think you used some already.
I used all last session, but didn't we get new ones at the beginning?
That is true. You do get one. Yep. Now you're not going to get an additional Reginald, but you get at least one to start with. So
I get 2.
So Regina, oh right, because you start with 2. So Regina starts with 2. Weddle, I have you at 2, so you're going to stay there, assuming you're okay. And Lump, I have you at 2 also, right? Now 3
2,
because
yes.
you get.
No. I only start with 1 per session. And
okay,
now
right.
I have to.
So you're up to. So now you're up to 2. Okay, great, lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, so the Dark Fate. All right, so this sound that you hear, this wailing sound, means 2 things. The first is, let's see who's got here a great success, which was Lump. Great success. So Lump, you hear this wailing, like, I should have been a contender, like, why did I believe in Linux? that type of thing. Crypto was such a good idea. Anyway, so
he knows his audience.
Man, crypto teaching libertarians market failure since 2009. Anyway, so Lump, you're like, well, I mean, okay, it's wailing, like I've heard worse, like I don't know, it's just a couple voices. Reginald, you do have a success here. However, yours is only a standard success, and what that ultimately means is, let me pull up my dice roller, which I forgot to do. 1 second. Right, here we are. So let me go with this thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you are going to take 2 psychic damage. This does not, armor has no effect on this, Reginald. It would have been worse. I'm going to talk about what happens to those who completely failed in just a minute. But you're going to take 2 psychic damage, and for the next, now this may not end up applying to you, but I'm letting you know for right now, that for the next, let us see.
Would having the psychic skill have any effect on this outcome?
If anything, it would amplify it. So I would say no.
Okay, never mind.
So you're right. 3 times the normal damage. No.
So keep your mouth shut.
This is one of the reasons you heard it first, actually, is because of that, but also because of your work with spirits. And, to be frank, you're kind of on that, close to that side of death anyway, Reginald. So you are going to be, so as you feel this damage kind of take hold, you feel something you have not felt in some time, Reginald. It is a bone-chilling kind of fear. You know more than most people that there are fates worse than death. And much of what you hear from these people is the worst fear that they at least have experienced. It is the fear of regret, that there are things left undone that they did not complete. And that fear kind of sinks into your bones. Mechanically, what this means, Reginald, is that the next 3 tests that I ask you to do are going to be done at a -2 penalty.
Okay.
The next 3. Now, that leads us to the people who don't make it, which is Weddle and Regina. Both of you, both Weddle and Regina, are just, I think it's fair to say, terrified. Regina, you are going to take 1 point of psychic damage. Again, there's nothing you can do about that with the armor. You just take it. Weddle, you are going to take also 1 point of damage. That could have been worse. So you take 1 point of psychic damage. However, both of you, terrified, immediately flee into the marsh. So you are just like, like running away. Weddle. Now, I'm not going to control you other than to say that you were just terrified and need to leave. So Reginald and Lump, what you see is basically like Regina just zipping away into the marsh. And Weddle, you just, you can tell me, do you run like towards Regina as you're doing this? Do you run away? Like what direction? You just have to run from where you are. You can't stay where you are, but you could run in a direction that you chose if you want, Weddle.
Yeah, Weddle would in fear probably run with the other person running, assuming maybe that they know something that Weddle doesn't.
Okay. So they are running. Okay. So then you are running along with Regina. And of course,
Can I try and reach and grab Weddle?
No, but you can try to catch up because Weddle's going to get the jump, but you can try to catch up if you wish, if you want to run after. Is Reginald also running, or are you staying with the donkey, or what's the donkey is also like, looks around very disturbed.
This donkey's doing strong stuff.
I guess Reginald will try to bring the donkey along, but probably at donkey pace.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Yes, at donkey pace. So, you're going to zip off, or you're going to try to pull the donkey in that direction.
Yeah, I have animal handling if it does need any sort of calming.
That seems reasonable to me. Lump, I'm going to have you see.
So can I let you know what I would like to do? And
yes,
then you
please.
Can ask me. Yeah. So basically, I see Wed's kind of running away.
Yep.
There's no words. I just immediately hand gallop after Wed's, and as soon as I'm close enough, I just try and leap onto Wed's to try and tackle Wed's to the ground.
I'm going to ask you to make for me then. I'm going to ask you to make me I'm trying to decide whether I want to have you do a strength check or whether I want it to be something specific. Let's have you make.
I mean, I'll go with strength.
Let's make it athletics. Let's make it an athletics check. And this one, I'm actually going to say what this is going to be is actually going to be brawn driven rather than, because it's not agility in this case. You're literally like trying to pull your body through the swamp.
There is very little grace in what Lump is doing right now. It is more gallop and use body as human spear.
I'll just fly ahead, full speed, and shout,
Yeah.
I hate the swamp! I want to get out of here! I want to get out of the swamp! And just like, full speed.
So you
If
hear
there are trees, I'm
echoing
just
through.
going to zigzag around.
I want to get out of the swamp! You hear just echoing through the swamp.
So
With
just
the occasional,
to...
I hate it here, I hate it here.
With the occasional, I hate it here.
I hate this place, I hate this place, I hate this place. Just you going around in circles every now and then, all I hear is like,
Yeah, I hate this place.
I hate this place, I hate this place.
I hate this place. I hate. It's like the Doppler effect.
So, athletics brawn. So 3d6 plus, because I have a focus. Well, no, I don't have a focus in. Well, if I had a focus, I have a focus in climbing.
No, I thought about giving this to you for running, but frankly, this is not.
Yeah,
this is kind of outside of it. So it'd just be 3d6 plus aspect.
3d6 plus aspect. That's fine. I'm sure. I'm hoping that'll be enough. Nope. Maybe.
That actually is enough.
God.
So, but what I will say is it's a standard success, not a great success. So what that means is that you are basically going to, sort of leap forward, and Weddle, you suddenly feel like a very large hand sort of clamp around your ankle, and you pitch forward into the swamp. However, because this is a standard success and not a great success, I am going to say that you're going to take, Lump, a point of damage as you fall, and basically faceplant in the swamp. So you're sitting there at about 23 out of 24 life is what I would say.
Yes.
Now, I do want to ask Weddle, because now you have brought Weddle down. Weddle is still like, still panicked. So I don't know. Then again, Weddle, I'm going to leave this up to you. You have a couple of options. You could basically try to turtle it, like kind of curl up and pretend they can't see me, I can't see them. You could try to fight back. But it's not like he tackles you and you're like, oh, thanks, I'm all back to normal now. Like, you're still terrified, at least at the moment.
I think we've ascertained now that when Weddle's in danger, curl around the cruth. You know, it worked out that one time when he was falling down the stairs. Turtle, the cruth is the most, no matter how panicked, how, you know, what his life is in danger, the cruth is the important thing.
All right, that makes sense to me. So, so you turtle it up. So Lump, you're now holding on to a, you know, kind of turtled thing, so Reginald, probably a moment later, I'm going to come to Regina in just a second. A moment later, Reginald, you kind of slog up with the donkey, hee-haw, like you're trying to grab and pull them along. And of course, you're feeling none too great yourself, Reginald, under the circumstances. But you could see Weddle kind of lying in the mud with legs up and like hands up and just sort of like, you know, so that sort of thing. And Lump sort of kind of just looking down. You tell me what you look like, Lump. Yeah, I was going to say.
Just holding Weddle down. And
like
just
the mother dog to the dog, the small dog, just like holding it. Like.
Just holding Weddle down so that Weddle can't move. And every now and then I'm just like,
yeah, exactly.
That way.
Yeah, with Regina. So anyway, Reginald, that's what you see as you come up.
Okay. I really like to, like, Reginald is not really seeing. He's got kind of like a million-mile stare going on at the moment.
Yep.
And he, even for a ghoul, he looks old all of a sudden. Like something's weighing very, very heavily on him. And he's gripping very tightly onto the donkey's reins and also very tightly on his scythe. You can almost see the whites of his knuckles.
That's so that's what you can see that as you're kind of coming up, and Lump, you're holding him down. Lump, I need you to make for me, please. I will give you either notice or survival, whichever you happen, if you have either one of those. Do you have notice or survival by chance?
I have both. They both specific aspects?
Then I would say survival would be insight, and I think that probably makes more sense.
Okay. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't say insight.
Sadly. Survival insight.
A survival test. 15 doubles and another light fate.
So, the light fate you get, I have good news and bad news.
Yes.
The good news is you get a light fate. The bad news is that is not enough. Which means that I will give Reginald a chance to do the same thing. Weddle is not capable of making this test because Weddle is currently, turtled up. So Weddle cannot make this test.
Not the crowd.
Sorry, what was the check against?
This is going to be, for you, I would say notice, wits. Actually, well, either one. Either notice, which is wits, or survival, which is insight.
I'll
either
go with
one of those.
Notice in that case. Which is a 15.
Okay. No, that's not going to be the case then. Okay. So, Lump, as you're sitting there, you notice after a moment that you've got Weddle, like, definitely on lockdown. Like, Weddle is not going anywhere.
There
then you're like,
one more thing I wanted to do
Sure, yeah,
with
please.
Weddle before we move on, if that's okay, because I'm assuming all of this is kind of happening at once. There's a
Pretty
very
much.
panicked, kind of noisy situation.
Very much.
And so, Weddle, are you on, like, face down, face up, on the side?
I'm assuming that you tackled from behind.
I tackled you from behind, so we both went face forward, and then I stood up. You curled up, but I don't know if you curled up onto your stomach or onto your side in like the field.
It could be whichever you want, Weddle.
Yeah.
Stomach.
Okay.
You're on your stomach. Okay. And use both hands, roll Weddle over, and just look Weds right in the eye, and sort of say, Lump is trying to be motivational here, but hands on shoulders sort of go, must be strong, be brave. But it's going to come across as intimidation. So there is now a giant mist-covered troll screaming at you to be brave. Be calm. And I'm happy to make an intimidation roll if you want.
Well, it depends, because technically you're intimidating for a reason. I mean, I know you're trying to motivate,
I'm trying to force. So obviously something's scared Weds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to force Weds into not being scared anymore. Essentially, I'm trying to scare the scare out of Weds.
Yes, try to make Weds more scared of you. Let's see. Your ability to coerce or browbeat someone into doing your bidding. All right. Let's say, sure. Let's have you try to do an intimidate. And this is going to be, now, do you happen to have a focus in physical coercion?
Yes, how did you guess?
I had a feeling. Not veiled threats, though, right? Like, you know.
Not veiled
that's
threats. No, this is physical coercion. This is like, yeah. This is similar to when I stood very, very tall in front of the bandit in the village.
Gotcha. All right, so if you're going to be doing that, then it's going to be you have the skill, which is intimidate. You do have a focus in the skill, which is physical coercion. So you're going to roll 3d6 plus aspect, which is brawn in this case, plus 2.
Let's try this. Be calm. 15, and you get a dark fate.
All right. So I have, again, good news. that Rob used to call this two things happen. He's always like, whenever Arv says two things happen, it's usually not a good thing. Two things happen. The good news is that Weddle is definitely intimidated out of your original fear. At least that is to say, you're no longer terrified of the wisps. You may now be terrified of Lump if you want, but basically, like, you know, that's been broken. That's the good news. The not so good news is that Weddle, as Lump is shaking your shoulders, you feel something odd, which is that there's no resistance on your back, and it's like, and Lump, after a moment, you're like, all right, you've done. Wait, what? Stop doing that. And suddenly you realize that both you and Weddle are sinking.
Oh.
And you're
Not
like,
the crib, not the crib.
yeah, exactly. Are you scared anymore? No, but now I'm beginning to drown. Okay, so I need both of you. Now, Reginald, you are not in the quicksand. You're right outside of it. So I'm going to explain the situation, then you can tell me if you want to do anything to fix this, but you have to move fast. Regina is in no position to help with this because Regina is still like, wah! So I'm going to ask the folks in the quicksand, Lump and Weddle, to make an athletics test. Neither one can help the other because there's nothing to push against except the other person. So, like, I guess Lump could be like, well, I guess that's it then, and, like, push against Weddle to survive, but I don't see Lump doing that. Nor vice versa, although I guess Weddle could correct me if I'm wrong. But neither one would be able to push against the other, which means you're both going to have to make the test individually. Now, Reginald, if you want to try to assist with this and you want to pitch me a way that you're going to assist, I'll consider it. You might be able to give a +2 to this check. Also, Echo has inspiration standing by.
I have what I believe is a very good idea, for I possess a rope and a donkey.
Ah, this is an excellent idea. Okay. So that's a good idea. So if you want to toss this, if you want to toss this to the folks, then what I'll do is I will give them each of them a +2. Okay. So I will give both of them +2s. So you can do that if you move quickly. So how do you, like, are you just going to be like, all right, donkey, stay here or something? Like, what do you?
I'm going to try and quickly tie the rope to the donkey and throw the other end into the quicksand.
Okay.
Would be the way to do it.
All right.
I love the image that we just see Reginald just kind of like stood there, like white knuckled grip on his side, and then all of a sudden, like in his head, they're just like voices, mist, and then there's like two of his party members are sinking, and he's just like, it's go time, right, donkey.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, because one of the voices he's hearing is like, I never saved them in the quicksand. Rodents of unusual size, I don't think they exist. You know,
if only I had a rope and a donkey.
If only I had a Holocaust cloak. Okay. So, all right. So you toss that in. Now I will allow each of you, Lump and Weddle, to make your test. So this again is going to be athletics. If you have athletics, do either of you have athletics? Lump does. Weddle, you do not. So
I have a scenario question.
Okay, sure.
I have a feeling I'm going to be saying this a fair bit. Sorry about this. How deep am I in quicksand? Because I am taller than Weddle.
Yes, you are right now up to your thighs. Weddle, because of being a turtle, is at the moment is like, kind of like, yeah, your mouth and nose. You're kind of in trouble, Weddle.
Okay. Can I dig my hands under Weddle and try and help Weddle as Weddle is pulling the rope? Assist, essentially. Weddle pulls rope, I lift, I go down further, but Weddle goes up.
I'm going to say you can't do that. I don't think either one of you are in a position to assist the other. Because even though you were taller, you have nothing to push against Lump. This is something where, you're now, once out of the swamp, once out of the quicksand, then you could like hold Weddle over your head, sure. But to get Weddle out, you're not going to be in a position to be able to do that right now. Both of you have nothing to push against. That's part of the problem with quicksand. Incidentally, kids, this is why you don't get stuck in quicksand at home. Make sure you pay attention if you're in a swamp or a marsh or a bog. Be careful.
Make sure there is a fence around your quicksand at home.
Exactly.
One last thing Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah. So this helping action is, I mean, shooting myself in the foot here, but it is basically saying Weddle would need to let go of his truth and hold a rope instead.
No, I don't think so. I think you can have the Kruth on your back. I don't think it's going to keep you. I think you can still hold on to the rope. I will not require you to make that sacrifice yet, though I will consider it for later. No, but no, I don't think so. At the moment, I think you're okay to just grab the rope if you want. I mean, I guess unless you want to abandon your Kruth. That seems unlikely. Okay. So, so both of you can do this. You'll both get +2. Now, chat, I know that we said there were inspirations. Each of these rolls is going to be made separately. So, first of all, which one wants to go first? And secondly, does chat wish to inspire either or both of these fine individuals?
We'll let that just simmer for a second while I check my character sheet, see if there's anything outlandish I can do. Unless I'm really angry at the quicksand, I don't think there's a lot I can do.
Taking a penalty to his roll to boost Weddle.
What about if Weddle puts his arm around my neck or grabs onto, like, my armor?
Okay, so based on what you just said and what Arudinel said, here's what I'll say about that. I will say that you can help Weddle if you allow Weddle to do that, but it will be at the penalty of your own roll. So you will now be at a minus to try to get out yourself.
How long has passed since we noticed we were in quicksand? How long has passed since I stood here?
It's moving fairly quickly. You've only been here about maybe 30 seconds, but it's gone pretty quickly.
That is 30 seconds. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so, Arudinel has inspired Weddle. So Arudinel has inspired Weddle. Weddle has an inspiration now. And
grab Wedge's hand, place it on my armor so that your fingers are kind of hooked over a part of my armor, so you know, sort of like there's a nod, like use me for leverage.
Okay. And assuming you do that, Weddle, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So just want to make sure. Like, no, save yourself. No, I won't leave you. Okay. Remove inspiration. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's quicksand, not slow sand. All right, so we have an inspiration for Weddle.
Could be medium sand.
Could be medium sand. Do we have an inspiration for Lump? Echo, did I see that you were interested in? Echo said that he stood ready, prepared to help. So, do we have an official call from the party for Lump for using one of Echo's
does
inspirations?
have more time available at the moment because Weddle is half in, half out. Lump is 1/3 in. So
I have another option I can take based on the results of what happens next as well.
Okay. All right, let's see. Consider Lump inspired, but peripheral mic, this means Urash at Strongman.
I do our best.
Echo Alpha. Okay. All right, so both of you have inspiration now, so you can make these rolls twice. So again, you're going to be making this test, which is going to be, I guess we'll start with Weddle first. So since you don't have athletics, this is just going to be 3d6, Weddle, but you get to roll it twice and take the highest result because of the inspiration you've received. Oh, and I'm sorry, and you get +2 because Lump is helping you. Forgot about that. Oh, and Reginald, I'm sorry. You get to roll twice, and you get +4 because Reginald threw you a rope, and Lump is helping you at the cost of his own, escape possibility. So, so you're doing 3d6 +4 twice. My apologies. All right. So we have an 18. We have a 15. Okay. So, let us see. That is 6, 6. That's doubles, which means that we're dealing with a great success. Okay. So, you pull yourself almost all the way out, Weddle, with that great maneuver. So you were right on the edge. And Reginald, if you want, you can like reach down and like get Weddle the rest of the way. So you could probably pull Weddle out the rest of the way if you wish. Assuming you're doing that, Weddle, like, you know, coughing sand and all that. Lump, now it's your turn, as you sort of are there sinking in the swamp. So again, this is an athletics test. So in this case, it would be, since you do have the skill, do you have, this wouldn't be a focus because I don't think we have like escape, you know, quicksand. So it would just be 3d6 plus aspect, which is brawn. But you'll be able to do it twice. Okay. However, in your case, 3d6 plus aspect, but in your case, remember, you were at a -2 for each roll, Mike, because you sacrificed your, you know, to help Weddle. So,
yes. So
it's 3d6 plus aspect -2 twice, and you take the higher of those two results.
Is the -2 not just without the rope?
I mean, I guess they cancel out, basically.
Yeah,
is what it
so
works
they
out
cancel
to.
each other out. So it's 3d6
plus aspect,
right?
yeah, basically, yeah. That's
which
right.
is, what was the aspect again?
Brawn.
Cool. 3d6 plus aspect. There's an 18 and a 17. I'll take the 18 with double 4.
Okay, so another great success. So you were able to pull yourself out. Again, Reginald / the donkey, you're kind of just like, whew, you know, like lying there right on the edge of this sand here.
Love it's just spits sand like out of his mouth because he's just like dragged through. It's like, wet rock.
I pet the donkey. I'm just like, that'll do, Bob. That'll do.
Hee-haw.
I'm checking over my Kruth, just like making sure it's all, you know,
quite sandy.
are all right.
Quite sandy. I think it'd be fair to say, but it seems intact, Weddle. And I would say there's a moment where you're all like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, cough, you know, yeah, there's this. You're like, wait a minute, and somewhere in the distance you hear Regina like, I hate this place, you know, sort of like flying away at top speed. But Regina, as you are flying through the swamp, you are not alone. These voices that I mentioned have gotten louder and louder as you move on in your increasingly terrified way. And then you begin to see in front of you as you fly an unearthly greenish light and emerging through the swamp. And I am going to actually show you what this thing is. And I'm going to call your attention to the stream, where I'm going to reveal to you and to chat what it is that you see. You see this. These strange green lights floating in front of you. And you hear, we are here on our own in the darkness. We are in the darkness with all of you. Why did I not leave when I could have? So this just echoes around you as you see these lights proceeding to you. It is not a bug zapper, no. Although that would be rather terrifying. I need you to make a test for me, Regina, because these voices are echoing in your mind. I would like you to make a resolve test a fortitude test. But the aspect we're looking at here is resolve. Do you happen to have fortitude by chance?
I do have the skill fortitude, but I do not have a focus that fits.
So we're looking at 3d6 plus aspect. And let's see, there are a number of these. There's actually 4 of these. So
yeah, I do have the focus for endurance, and I don't think that fits, right?
That's not going to do it, nope. Sorry. So 3d6 plus 4. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Whoever just did that, I missed that. But yes, 3d6 plus 4.
Plus which aspect?
3d6 plus it's resolve is the aspect.
Okay, so 3d6 plus 3 in my case. 16.
16. Okay. You had this. So let's see. That is a standard success, not a great success. Okay. So although you have this moment where you feel, Regina, because the voices are saying, "Follow us and you will never be alone." And you have this urge at first. You're like, I should follow them, but then you're like, no. Maybe this is part of Regina's classic, like, what? I don't follow people. Go to hell. What are you talking about? But in any case, you do not follow them, but you are distracted by them. So the effect that this has is, as these creatures begin to surround you, that you are going to get a -1 penalty to the next 3 tests that I ask you to make.
Okay.
3 tests. Now remember, Reginald has one that I think I said was the next 3 also, Reginald. So you've got -3 to your except you have a -2, I think is what I said for you, Reginald.
Yeah,
for the
-2
next 3 tests. For you, Regina, it's just a -1 for the next 3 tests. But these creatures are flying around you ever faster. So, Regina, I'm going to give you a chance now, as you're sort of surrounded by these creatures, to tell me what you want to do. Do you want to try to fly back to your party or to go after these creatures?
Oh, actually, it's for the next 2 because of the notice check. I failed it anyway, but
that's
yeah.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
You're quite right. That's right.
Okay, I would like to put my hands on my ears because I don't want to be shouted at. And I would like to, I hate this place, and I hate you glowing things as well. And I'll just try to, flying back to my companion seems fine. But I want to, do it like this, no, I hate you, I hate all of you.
Okay. So you turn around and fly back. So I would say what Reginald and Lump and Weddle hear as you're all sitting there spitting out sand and congratulating yourselves on being alive is you hear, it's like this creature is zipping right towards you. And suddenly you see what looks very much like Regina rushing towards you at top flying speed with her hands clamped over her ears. And behind her is this fastly increasing in intensity green glow. And so, Regina, you basically fly into the middle of the party.
Okay, once I've realized they're there, I want to stop.
Okay.
And I want to continue shouting, I hate this place, and I hate those things, and I hate this place. And I want to go away, and I want to go to somewhere where it's better, and that's everywhere.
Everywhere but here is better than here.
Weddle stands next to Lump.
Does Lump know what these are?
I was going to say, well, maybe Reginald might.
Now they're growing brighter. You might, Reginald. Let me have you make, let's see. Trying to think if I want you to make a survival check for me. Let's say no, this is lore, I would say.
Okay.
So
Answers that one.
Lore would work. Do you have the skill? Do you have lore?
I do have lore.
All right.
Ancestry focus, which probably isn't relevant.
Yeah, that is not going to be. I was going to say if you had something along the line of either monsters or, let's see, monsters or magic.
Just plain old lore then for me.
So then lore plus the aspect, and in this case it would be wits.
Yeah, and then with a -2, so it's just going to be a +2 for me.
Yep.
Can we stop giving the DM?
I'm trying to find a place to put all this extra dark fate I have lots of.
I'll just put it over here in the doom sack.
I'll just put this in the petty fate drawer, right over here. Okay, so right. So I thank you for the fate
drawer.
And I would say that is probably. let's call that, I would say that is a standard success. So what I would say is that these are creatures that you recognize as having a kind of sentience about them. In fact, you used to see examples of this back in your graveyard in the city, except, Reginald, the ones that you saw in the graveyard were considerably smaller. You used to call them like werelights that would kind of light around the graves of different people in the graveyard. They sometimes felt to you a little bit like they were sort of mischievous in that they would sort of like, light up a particular grave and you'd walk over towards it and then suddenly they'd like zip away. And like, all of a sudden they'd be gone and then they'd appear somewhere else. These, however, seem much larger, and as they are growing and flying directly towards you, seem considerably more hostile.
Never seen them this big before. I think we should get out of here.
Are they dangerous?
Never seen them this big or this approachable. Usually they fly there and then go away when you go over there, and then they're somewhere else. Bit like hide and seek. These seem to be just doing the seek bit. We should go.
Let's leave. I tried pushing the donkey forward.
And we here, folks, are going to move into some combat. Now, I will let you folks know how we're going to work this, though. If you're trying to escape, what I will say is that you can make an effort to try to, drive them off, or at least far enough away that you can then make your escape on a regular basis. You can do that if you wish, but escaping through the swamp is going to be hard, just so you know, because the conditions are so bad. But you can certainly make that effort, or you can try to fight these things directly, although, as you know, Reginald, how exactly do you fight incorporeal balls of light? That's going to be a challenge for the party. Party, the way that we do this, of course, as you folks know, is you get to decide what order you're going to do things in. You can tell me the approximate plan that you folks have to try to deal with these creatures. Again, there are 4 of them, 4 of you, 4 of them. Then you'll have a chance to go. And combat is kind of simultaneous, but we'll speak about that as we go through this. So what order, how does the party want to handle this? You can freely speak to each other about that.
Well, my first action was going to be to give everybody an extra 3 armor points if everyone's within arm's reach.
They are, so
depending on what everybody else wants to do mechanically, that could go first.
Okay.
I have a counterpoint to that. There's a good chance this is psychic combat which ignores armor.
Possibly. I mean, Lum doesn't know that.
Yeah, fair. Just putting that out there. I do have psychic attack, but there's diminishing returns on psychic attack. You get worse at it as you progress without a short rest. So I can put up a fight for a limited time, but I'll be getting worse the longer this drags out.
Do these things look like they are trying to not to prevent us from leaving?
That's the impression you get. They do not look friendly.
No. Okay. Is there anything close that I could throw at them? Except for the donkey.
Well, most of what you have around here is mostly swampland. Like you could try to, I don't know, dig in the sand. There seems to be a very nice pit right next to, Lump and Weddle and Reginald. That would just be, that'd be fine.
Well, in that case, I would ready one of my javelins.
Okay.
And we'll try to throw it at them, because I'm not getting close to those. If I can avoid it for one more turn or something.
Okay. All right, so that's what Lump is doing. What about Reginald? Are you doing that psychic combat, or are you just thinking about it?
Yeah, I'll turn and focus on one of them. Buy time for the others to decide or get moving.
Weddle, what about you?
Weddle's gonna try something new, and he's gonna cast a spell, Lightning Bolt.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Okay, because they are actually all hovering quite close to each other. There's 4 distinct great balls of fire, or feu follet, as the Canadians would say. but they are very close to each other, so you could do that too. So order-wise, what are we looking at? Who wants to go in what order then?
I understood it. We have Lump first with armor.
Yes.
And I
Sounds
don't
good.
think
Thanks,
I
Echo.
was- And I could just go second and throw stuff at them just to see if it works.
I think that makes sense. They'll quicker reacting. I'm more like, we should go. And then
So who wants to
I'll
go
go
third and fourth?
I'll go
Yeah,
third.
So where to go fourth?
Yeah.
With the old lightning bolt and Ray.
All right, so we've got Lump, Regina, Reginald, Weddle.
Sparkles.
Okay, so we're going to start with Lump. Lump, what are you doing? You said you're providing armor.
Yep. So Lump is going to stand as in front of the group as he can, but well within arm's reach of everyone, kind of in like that sort of protective stance, like sort of semi-covering people with his arms.
Okay.
He's going to clap his massive hands together, spend a light fate, and suddenly everyone has 3 extra armor points.
All right.
This lasts until the combat ends.
All right, so we've got some extra armor. I love it. Okay, and that's your action.
Pretty much, yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like I'm getting ready for a fight and go, get lost, ghosts.
They immediately depart. No, that's all you needed to do. Okay. No, so all right, sounds good. That means Regina, I believe you're up next with your because they are not on top of you yet because you haven't you haven't engaged with any of them specifically, Love. Regina,
Yeah,
you're going to chuck your javelin.
I'm gonna chuck a javelin. So it's 3d6 plus agility plus 2 for my attack.
Okay. I'm going to use this opportunity
No,
to use
plus.
one of my many Dark Fates.
And -1 because it's the first test after thing. So
That's right. And I will add to the threat of this creature. All right. Okay.
there, 16. And no dark fate for you.
That's true. No Dark Fate for me. However, no success for you. That is a fail. These creatures, as you chuck your javelin, it goes flying almost like among the 4 of them, basically, without hitting any of them. And now the good news is that they are not back here yet, although it looks like they may come and engage you in a moment, Regina. But that javelin falls harmlessly in the swamp. And by the way, as it hits the other side, you hear as the javelin disappears.
Well, I additionally would like to shout, "Go away!"
Well, that changes. No, okay. All right. Okay, you do that. That is going to lead us to third up, I think, was Reginald, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's going to pull down his hood and pull like a Professor X pose. So it's just like that.
Right.
And
What are you doing there, Charles? I'm looking for hope.
He's going to do a psychic attack with his psychic attack focus. But it's only going to be a +4 instead of a +6.
Okay.
And he's also going to spend a light fate.
All right.
We'll make that 4d6 +4, and then we'll see what we get. Well, I get my light fate back.
Wow.
And let me see. Do I drop the 5?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, I'll drop the 5.
All
that
right.
would be
So
an
we're looking at an 18. An 18 is not enough. These creatures are swirling around, and as if they have been somehow temporarily strengthened by the application of a certain external mechanic that was just used a second ago.
Yeah, sorry. I think that also puts me at -1. Yes. Oh
Now-
no, -2 because it was a failure.
Yeah. Now, when you do that, Reginald, one of them sort of flares and is going to basically is going to try to challenge back. So, when you do this, when it is a fail in this case, there we go. Get to my combat section for the failure. Not that. Not that. Okay, so let's see. That is a standard failure, which means it's a regular failure. Okay. Right. So failure means that they're going to be able to inflict psychic damage upon you. All right. So one of them flares, and maybe it's a combination, Reginald, of that plus the fear that you already had, but you feel this just sort of this spike through your brain almost is what it feels like. You take 4 psychic damage, and as you had suspected, this does ignore armor, so it's just direct to your life. With one of these. Okay, there are 3 which remain, and I should say 3, all 4 of them remain, but there's 3 that haven't gone yet. But, Weddle, you are hopefully going to address that problem with a certain little lightning bolt that I hear is happening.
Yes. I'm in the process of remembering how to cast a spell. Nature, which uses resolve, so 3d6 plus my resolve.
Yep, and do you have you should have a focal, do you have a focus in this would be
I have the special ability nature spell casting, but it never mentions anywhere focus.
Yeah, no, if you have nature, I would say that you have a focus in that. So I think it's actually 3d6 plus aspect plus 2. You do, and you don't have a minus, right? It was not like Regina or Reginald, so you're good. Yeah, so 3d6 plus aspect plus 2 is what you would have here.
And I'd like to use a light fate to roll an extra die, please.
Sounds like a plan.
How? Oh dear.
Oh. So as I say, that was looking real good until the application. Well, those last 2 ones did not help. So you're gonna have to drop one of them. I assume you want to drop one of the. Well, you tell me what you want to drop.
Yeah, I'll drop a 1, please.
Okay. I, however, will happily take back that dark fate. Thank you. Okay. So, clean miss, as that lightning bolt misses. The spell does not hit them. And again, there's this sense that as all 4 of them, it's a strange experience, Weddle, because all 4 of them are definitely, as I said, distinctive entities in and of themselves. There are 4 different, there are 4 lights. There are 4 lights. But they also are swirling around so that you almost feel like all 4 of them flare at once when this happens. So, when you have a failed attempt at a cast, in this particular case, I will say, let's see, because I get to actually make a decision about what I want done as a result of that. I would say that for a failed spell test like that, so you're going to have to spend spell points, or you will lose memory of that spell. Weddle.
How many spell points?
So the spell points, I would say, would be. I don't know if it distinguishes it actually in the spell itself. How many? I think it says costs how many. Blah blah blah. It costs 1 spell point. So you would have to use a spell. So you cast it using a spell point. So you have to cast an additional spell point so as not to forget it.
All right. Yep, I'll do that.
And that seemed to correspond exactly with the flaring of the creatures. Okay, so that leaves 2 of them that have yet to act, and they are going to come in and attempt to make an attack. Those 2 remaining ones.
Did I take damage?
You did not take damage. No, this was simply the spell point loss that you had. So now they will get a chance to operate. Those 2 ones that have not yet functioned. So, they're going to do is, let's see. Okay. I think one of them is going to probably attack. Okay, actually, they are both going to attack. One of them is going to attack. No, actually, one of them already attacked Reginald, so never mind. That will be not the case. One of them is going to attack Weddle, though. And the other one, I think, is going to attack Lump. So, I am going to ask, let's start with Weddle. You're going to be making a test against, let's see, either Wits or Resolve. So either wits or resolve. I'll let you choose which one you want to do for this one, Weddle.
I'll take resolve, please.
All right. So then you're going to roll 3d6, and you will add your resolve. And you're going to be trying to overcome a certain number, which is known to me, but not you.
17.
You will be happy to know that that is enough. So that is a standard success. What that means is that you're only going to suffer half the damage you would have normally. So, but this again is like this sound of it. It feels like a spike in your mind almost, Weddle. So you're going to take 2 points of psychic damage there. I also have you at 16 out of 23, Weddle, right now. Is that
Yeah,
is that right?
correct.
Okay, 16 out of 23. Okay. All right, and the other one is going to go after Lump. So same thing, Lump. I need you to make a wits or a resolve test, your choice.
I would take resolve, so 3d6 plus resolve.
Yes, that is correct.
Marvelous. Let's do that one. That's a 13.
That is not going to be enough, I'm sorry to say. So you are going to take 6 points of psychic damage as you just feel this spike through your mind.
It hurts.
Yep. A lot of pain. All right, and that brings us to the next combat round. So these things have flared into life, and again, those of you who have noticed that they've all been sort of, flaring together, like the light all comes together out of the 4 of them and sort of sinks down below the 4 of them. So, how do you want to handle the next round of combat, the 4 of you? As a quick note, I'm going to pump up the their thing once more with these handy dandy fate tokens I happen to have lying around here.
Are there any magical rocks lying around?
Yes, but all next to these creatures. No, I'm just kidding. No, they do not appear to be. No. Okay.
My vote is now on running away. Not gonna lie.
I mean, it sounded like a good vote.
Well, I'm a bit more
Lump is just gonna
single-minded.
lock.
I still have a javelin, so I would now throw the other javelin. But you could use that to run away because I'm faster anyway.
Yeah, I could do with a head start. I'm not very agile.
I think Bob could use with a head start.
I'll ride Bob.
I was going to leave Bob for the wisps.
Because I think the swamp is like rough terrain for everyone except me.
Everything is rough
Oh.
terrain for everyone except you. To be fair, nothing is hard terrain for you other than a gust of wind.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
and
just
then
point out
suddenly
we've-
there's a big tree in my way.
We've
Yeah.
completely forgotten about our cargo.
Well,
He's unconscious on Bob. It's fine.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I wondered where we'd left him.
So
He's
Lumpy
just
got
lying in the
worried.
quicksand, sinking gradually. Damn it!
Just
You see the
this
rose
one
is all you
rose
see
and
left, like the
rose.
one petal. God damn it.
Game over.
Yep. You lose.
You've
Okay.
unlocked the bad ending.
so you take Bob and leave, and I throw a javelin to hopefully distract them. I could do some more shouting also.
Yep. Weddle is perfectly happy to leave with the donkey.
Is there this sort of moment where we've all sort of thrown stuff at these ghosts and nothing's worked, so we're all just sort of like, there's a moment where we're all sort of look at each other and sort of go, leg it?
Yeah, you can all do that, and Regina is like, next javelin!
Leg
It's like in The Princess Bride where the guy's holding the sword and then just like starts like booking it the other way. Okay, so if I understand correctly, are all of you running but Regina?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then I don't need
bravely
to.
running away.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't need to ask what the order is then, because all of you are going to be running. I guess I do need to ask if the people running are going to go before or after Regina chucks the javelin.
I think I should chuck the javelin first, in case it helps.
Okay.
Did you accidentally pack a magic javelin? A magic ghost
No,
killing
this
javelin?
is also going to be my last javelin I'm going to be out of after this.
Yeah, and you can't get those back. They're gone.
No, I'm
We
not
had-
going to get
we-
those back.
We heard the
If
blood
they
look.
carry them after me, this is going to be real awkward.
You just everything we throw at them, they're just gonna start wielding.
They just
Which
grab
is-
the javelin, like take it back.
It's just a gelatinous. It's actually an invisible
Try
gelatinous
again.
cube.
Son of a. Yeah.
So,
So my plan after Regina throws the javelin is to go and grab Maurice.
Bob.
The unconscious. No,
Yeah, the
Sweet
unconscious
Donkey.
guy is Morris.
The unconscious
Bob's-
dude.
unconscious-
Yeah. I'm gonna grab him and then immediate beeline out of the swamp. I
Are
say
you planning
out
on
of the
leaving
swamp.
Bob behind?
Yes.
Wow.
Lump's really done like a turnaround from last week's like motivational, like well-being. Leave the donkey.
Okay. Let's get more into Lump's mindset. So Lump is going to run towards the donkey, grab the rope, and then try and run at a reasonable pace without dragging the donkey.
Why can't you
Away
just carry the
from-
donkey?
Because it's a donkey and a human on top of the donkey. That's why I was taking the human off the donkey. I'm big. I'm not gargantuan. And this place has quicksand. Do you know how quickly I'm going to sink if I'm carrying?
No, I
two
don't
dead
know.
weights?
This is.
No.
Do you
Do
know
you know
Regina
why? 'Cause
knows
you've
how
got
quick
bloody
somebody
wings.
sinks?
That's why.
Well,
Because you just been going, I hate this place, all the way around the forest, and we've been drowning in sand, wet rock. That's what's in our lungs right now.
I
Now
didn't
throw
know
the
why you were
stick
doing that.
so we can
okay?
get this dead donkey out of this swamp.
Well, you go. I will now skewer one of them. Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, so toss first, right? So first thing is to attack.
Yeah, but in this, I'm going to spend a light fate this time.
Okay. All right, this is a ranged attack here.
Nice.
Whoa, hey. That's how you use the
Oh.
light fate.
Yeah, I can't drop the 2, so I'm gonna drop the 3, very obviously, and it's a 20.
And that is going to miss. I'm just kidding. No, that hits. So you do hit, and I believe that is a great success as well.
Yes. that is a
So
great
you are going to
success.
inflict full damage. Now, this is what happens. Regina, you've tossed javelins before, but like this is epic, right? Like this just, whoosh, like directly into the center of it. And you're like, yeah. And it just embeds itself in the creature. And then these javelins are not magical, right? Just want to make sure
No.
I'm clear. You see
No.
it basically go like through the body of the ball of light and just hit the ground. And you hear
Yeah, that hurt, didn't it? Ha ha!
And so you will take
As the
no
quicksand
damage,
eats your
but
javelin.
yeah.
Do I cause any damage or roll for any damage?
So about that, this creature is not going to be apparently damaged by this, unless there is some kind of magical or psychic damage associated with this attack.
Nope, it's a complete physical damage.
It's that magic spear you gave us of magical returning.
It's that magic spear that I got last session.
Let me find my notes on that underneath
Yeah,
this pile of dark
fingers,
fate you
get
gave
it
me.
out. Yeah.
No, I don't think that's how this works. So this appears to have no effect, even though you are very impressed. So it's one of those like, ha-ha, and then you're like, because it does not seem to have damaged these things at all.
Well, but still, maybe it distracted them at least a little bit. So
Mhm.
yeah, you all go running.
Okay. So, 15, 24. And did you count the minus, excuse me. Sorry. The -1, Regina, that was
Yes,
for the, okay.
I did. Otherwise, it would have been +7.
Okay. Okay. So the rest of you are going to basically take this in book. Now, I'm trying to think about how fast here we can have you going. Are you simply all running on foot? Are you any of you like trying to like, I don't know, pick up one of you and run along? I guess Lump is not in a position to do that since Lump has already got the donkey and has also got the got Morris over his shoulder. So
I've never seen. I know Weds can run, and I've never seen because I just had to chase Wed, just to chase him, and I've never seen Reginald run. So my assumption is, like, someone who can run is going to need to take the donkey. So he's going to grab the donkey and he's going to grab the rope that the donkey's on, rather than like grabbing Reginald. If Reginald starts to slow down, then maybe a change of heart. But
Okay. All right. So you folks are going to book it. I'm going to ask all of you to make. I will take either athletics or survival if any of the three of you have those things. Weddle, you have either one or no?
I have both.
I have
Depends on the
survival.
Okay, Weddle does not. That seems narratively appropriate. We'll come back to that in a minute. So for Lump and for Reginald, you can choose either one of those.
What aspects are you using for them?
So athletics will be brawn. Survival will be metal.
Oh, I think I'll take athletics. Brawn is my jam, so I will 100% do that. So 3d6 plus. God. Do you know that pile of Dark Fate you had?
Oh,
Just get a little bit.
let me just grab this.
You're gonna
okay.
run out of tokens. Just for the person in chat who was asking, we do actually have physical tokens.
We do.
And I'm pretty sure Arv is running out of them at this point.
Let's see. I have a few. See those? Like right there.
Whole lot of trouble. That's what that is.
Okay. So nonetheless, you'll be happy to know that is enough, though, to gain ground on these creatures. So you are succeeding in gaining ground, albeit not enough to leave them behind, at least as of yet. Having that extra +7 is a big help. What about you?
What I do, baby.
Reginald?
What I do.
Luckily, brawn's the one part of that my strength aspect that's been pumped up a bit.
Okay.
So I get a +3 myself for a 14.
I should have held up an empty punch card just to. This is how many. Let's see. Excuse me. I beg your pardon. Okay. 14, I am sorry to say, is not a success. So while Lump gains ground, Reginald, you, if anything, lose a little bit of ground. And that leads us to Weddle. So, Weddle, since you don't have those, I'm looking for, let's see. I guess I would be looking here for strength. If you have brawn, what is your brawn, I guess I should ask?
0.
That's the test that we're doing, I'm afraid. So it's going to be 3d6 plus 0.
I believe in you, Weddle.
Wow.
Take that light fate.
Yep. First of all, light fate, and also a great success. Okay, so you actually. So yeah, I was just gonna say. So Lump is like going along, and Reginald's like, this is really. And then Weddle's just like, woo, like like held on. I like to think that you're hitting one major like super metal, the other kind of metal
Just
note.
one big
Weddle
power
is,
slide.
you
Just
know.
one big knees power slide. All
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
through
exactly.
the
He's like,
song.
yeah.
He'll do a lot of things for his crew.
Yeah.
You know.
Meet the new boss, like straight ahead. All right. So as you're heading ahead, so Weddle is taking the lead ahead of Lump, and Reginald is dragging behind, and Regina, of course, behind that. So now we're going to get an opportunity for a few of these creatures to attack. They will spend 2 of them are going to attack Regina, who is the immediate threat because throwing javelins and all that. So let's see. I need you to make a defense test for me, please. And this is going to be either wits or resolve, Regina. These things are attacking you psychically.
Resolve then.
Okay.
So just 3d6 plus resolve -1.
That's correct. And I think this might be the last of your tests.
Yep, that's the
yeah.
last. That's the last. A moment. 3d6, not 4. Like this. Yeah, but I get a light fate.
You do get a light fate, but you do not sadly get. You sadly do not succeed. So it is a failure on the test, which means that they will be able to get their full amount of damage on you.
Do I make another test for the second one?
Well, so this first one, you're going to take 5 points of damage, psychic damage, from this first creature.
Okay.
And then, yes, you can make a second one against the second creature.
So come on here. Well, 14 and I get a light fate.
14. You get a light fate, but 14 is not enough. These
Okay.
creatures were again higher threat. So that is unfortunately a failure. And you are going to take 3 more points of psychic damage as these spikes, mental spikes, drive into your mind. The other one is going to, so there were 2 that attacked that. There are 2 more that are going to attack those who are currently behind, and that is specifically Reginald, who has not made his way all the way. So Reginald, I'm going to need you to do a test, defense test against either, again, wits or resolve in your case.
Right. So
Good night,
what's
Chamber.
my resolve? I'm going to throw in a light fate on this one.
Okay. Seems reasonable.
Well, a 15.
A 15 is not quite enough. I'm sorry to say. They are going to inflict 4 points of psychic damage against you. Zap. Okay. And the second one is you need to make a second test against the other one. So 2 attacked Regina, 2 are attacking you.
Same again. I'll use my light fate again.
Okay. Not enough. Sorry. I'll also take that light fate. Let's see. Man, I got to dig real deep on this card. Just give me a second here. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So that means that we are looking at another 3 points of psychic damage, Reginald, as you're just spike. Okay.
Reginald has a very severe nosebleed now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Now, the scenario is at this point that given the current leads of the different party, if Weddle makes one more successful escape, I'm going to say that Weddle is out of the combat, or at least out of the range of danger. The same thing would be the case for Lump. Reginald, you've got to get 2 successes before you get out, and the same thing for Regina. So basically, Weddle and Lump have had 1 success in terms of getting farther away. They're one more away from escaping completely. Regina and Reginald, though, have not made any successes yet. Now, again, that's dependent on what you choose to do this round, of course, but...
As much as I would like to be really generous, I think it's far less likely that I will succeed 1 time than everyone else will succeed twice.
Mm-hmm.
So Weddle is going to just try and run away again.
Okay. Lump, what about you?
Can I turn around and assist Reginald? Like, grab his shoulder and pull him?
Yes, but I will say that you're doing that means you will not have a success for yourself this turn, Lump.
Okay.
If you follow what I mean. So you're either going to bring Reginald even with you, so you'll each have the 1 success, or you will, no one will move between the 2 of you at all, depending on what happens.
Yeah. So I'm originally I was portraying this as we are like leagues away from each other. The reality is probably like
No, not
we're
that
not
far.
actually physically that far away from each other, but we're just in different states of escape. So
That's right.
whilst I'm gaining ground, Weds is very easily hopping over all of the obstacles, but Reginald has inflicted so much damage now that you've slowed down quite a lot. You've got a nosebleed. You're using your scythe as a crutch. So
Exactly.
Lump will turn around, grab Reginald by the shoulder, and it's a big hand, and you're a ghoul, so there's not a lot of actual big muscles there, so it kind of covers your entire shoulder. And there's this moment where he goes, "No die here, come back another time, follow." And he you feel this lift as Lump kind of picks you up with him and brings you along with him step by step.
Okay. I like that. And Regina, what about you now that you have thrown your last javelin?
Well, I also escape.
Okay. Attempt to make the escape. And I also leave. immediately.
I just escape. I escape upwards.
At least for me, it's not difficult terrain. So let's go for it.
That's fair enough. Okay. In terms of the order, I'm gonna have. Well, I mean, actually, the party can tell me. My guess was that we have Weddle go first because Weddle is the one who's furthest away trying to escape. But correct me if I'm wrong. But then that, and then Regina, I would gather you would be next probably because you're trying to book it, and then Lump, your assist with Reginald would be the third, is what I would say. But I'm not trying to jump in. You tell me if that sounds like what. Does that sound right?
Well,
Yeah,
action-wise, I basically go when Lump goes. On
Yeah.
This one, so.
Okay. So let's see. I'm going to use another one of these Light Fate. By the way, I'm not. In case anyone's curious, I'm not actually like stacking these. Like every round, I would have to repump, which is basically what I've been doing because I have a little bit of extra Dark Fate. So these things are scary. So I'm pumping them up appropriately.
We've encountered an elite.
Yeah, this exactly. I like the idea you do have to leave the aggro range. Yeah, these con red to you, apparently. Okay, Weddle, you're going to be up first then. So we're going to have you try to make another one of these escape checks. I think I had you do last time... What was it? I had you do...
Just 3d6.
Just 3d6 is what I had you do? Okay. So then let's have you do the same thing.
Yep. I'm going to use the Light Fate that I earned last time.
Okay. How many does that leave you with once you use that?
I had 2. I used 1. I gained 1. So I've got 2 again, and I will have 1
Gotcha.
afterwards.
Cool. Okay.
Right. Let's go.
Make it happen. Hey, that looks pretty good.
Excellent stuff.
Be helpful if I actually rolled and found out what the threat was pumped up by, wouldn't it? Okay. All right, that's good to know. All right. Yes, that is successful. Not by much, but it is successful. So that means that you're able to make, with that standard success, you're able to make a sort of one last ditch like push to get out of range. So since it's a standard success, I will say that you will be subject to targeting, although they might not target you, Weddle, but you might be able to be targeted. We'll see what happens when they make their decision as to what they're going after, these creatures. But for the moment, you have made your escape, or just about. So good work. We'll see what happens at the rest of this round. Okay, second up, I believe, was Lump grabbing Reginald.
Yep.
And so I'm going to ask you to make that same check, Lump, except that I'm going to have you... I'm going to have you do your... Let me think about this. No, I'm going to have Reginald make the attack, make the check, because you're not doing it because you...
Because I'm sacrificing
Yeah, you're
myself.
sacrificing yourself. Yeah. So Reginald is going to do that. So Reginald, you are going to try to do 3d6, and then we're adding your aspect, which I think I said was brawn. I think I said was brawn. 3d6 was brawn. I believe is what I said for an escape. And do you have any -2s left, or are you done with that, Reginald?
No, I'm done with them.
Okay.
The only minus I've gotten is on psychic attacks now.
Got it.
Do I not get an advantage for... Not advantage, but a bonus for Lump helping?
Yes, Lump is going to give you +2 on that, yes.
Excellent. So that'll give me a +5. Come on. Hey.
Yeah, that's not quite enough.
Just a +2. I'm a big dude. Can I be +3 or maybe 4?
No, sorry.
Come on. I'll spend a light fate.
Say again.
I'll spend a light fate.
I'll spend a light fate.
Yeah.
Let me take a look actually and make sure about this assist action. Let's see. So, okay. So I was doing assist wrong on this +2. So in this case, what you would do for this is, oh no, because this is not on combat. I take that back. So it is +2. No, you're not assisting on a combat attack. You're assisting on an escape. So sorry, nope. That's not going to do it. That's not quite enough. Now, the good news is that like Reginald doesn't like lose ground. It just means that Reginald isn't going to gain any ground. But it does mean that Reginald is subject to targeting, as is Lump. Regina, what about you? You are going to attempt to make your escape, I believe.
Yes.
So we're doing that
I would
again.
like to make my escape.
So we're going to do that 3d6. Now for you, it probably is not brawn though, because you don't have to deal with like sneaking through it. So I would say probably agility on this would be what you could use. 3d6 plus
Is this
agility.
a survival check or
No.
what is it?
No,
It's just an agility check.
Yeah. because this is just pure
Okay.
speed. As they say, this
I
is like the
did-
NFL Combine. How fast can you go 0 to 40, basically?
This is fine. And I will also use one of my fate
Okay.
for an additional die.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, I would like to drop that one, I guess.
So 17. That is enough.
Yes.
So Regina, so Weddle has made his escape. Regina is basically one turn away from making her escape because you got started a turn later, remember, because you were throwing the javelin. So you're a turn away from escaping. Reginald Lump is still one turn from escaping. Reginald is still 2 turns from escaping. So that's where we stand. Now, the ones who remain, we will see Weddle. They are not going to attack you. They are going to focus on the ones who have not made their escape yet. So they are going to focus their attention on Lump and Reginald, and then I think Regina. So we're going to say 2 on Lump, 1 on Reginald, 1 on Regina. That's how we'll do that. So, first of all, 2 on Lump. Lump, I need you to make 2 defense tests, please. Both either wits or resolve against psychic combat.
Wits or resolve? I'll take resolve. So 3d6 plus resolve?
Yes. You'll have to do that twice.
3d6 plus resolve. There's the first one, which is a 10.
That's not going to work.
Second one, which is a 10, but I get a light fate.
Yep. Neither of those is going to work, I'm sorry to say.
No, that's fair.
Let's see. So, that's... Well, that would be 10 points of psychic damage as you are spiked in the head twice.
There is blood coming out of Lump's ear.
Yep. Not so good. 1 for Reginald.
Right, so 3d6 plus 5. Ha!
Nice.
Finally.
Great success. Now, I have good news for you about that. That's a great success. That means that you are going to take no damage at all from this attack, and it means that you are going to get a chance to actually catch up with Lump. So both you and Lump now have each a success in escaping.
Awesome.
So Regina, Reginald, and Lump all have 1 success, and 1 additional success, they'll be out of the area. Weddle is already gone and sitting in a tavern, probably, just like drinking a beer, I imagine.
Follow the Weddle-shaped blur.
Yeah, exactly.
Already
My
writing,
companions that I lost so long ago. You lost them 5 minutes ago.
Let me tell you the tale of the marsh.
The tale of the lost marsh person. Okay. So, beginning of the round again. Am I assuming that Regina and Reginald and Lump are all going to make another escape attempt, or is that not true?
Didn't you say that one is attacking me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, did I not get the attack? Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't. Yeah, make 1 defense test. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Regina.
Sorry, just
No,
to make
no.
it-
You're quite right. For some reason, I don't know. I brain farted. I was too busy being excited that Reginald had a good successor.
So I'm gonna use a light fate. And
How many of these do you
resolve.
have left after that, by the way, Regina?
1. After this, 1 left.
1 left. Okay.
I'm gonna drop the 2 for an 18.
18, that's enough. Yep. So, okay. So this one, and that means you've got, now it is only a standard success, so you are going to take a little damage from it, but that's better than taking all the damage.
Yeah.
So you are looking at a 4 points of psychic damage as this thing spikes into your brain each time. Each time as they hit. Okay. So we're at the top of the round. Weddle, you can tell me if there's something you want to do now that you are out of combat, but unless you're going to run back into combat, there isn't very much, I would say, for you to do here, although you can try to take another action that just involves you. So, for example, you could try to recover to restore lost life. So you could do that if you wish. That basically is a recover action. And it basically means and you can take a number of recover actions each day equal to your resolve. And so you would be making a fortitude test against DC 14, and you have the chance of restoring some life if you succeed in that. So you could do that. Or if you have a spell that you want to cast that would be useful in this situation without your friends around, you could do that. Or you could, I don't know, sing a song, do some knitting. You know, there are many other options, I guess.
Yeah, I think Weddle would just sing a song, wouldn't he?
Could. Okay. All right, so that's what Weddle is going to do. Lump and Reginald and Regina, you're all going to try to escape?
Oh, yes.
Oh my, yes.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Now it's escape. Yeah.
Oh my,
Okay.
yes.
Weddle, are you going to, I guess you'll sing first. So you're just doing a song. Anything in particular that you're singing about?
Yeah, I think Crag's he's wanted to sing the Crag's national anthem for quite a while.
Okay.
I think being in the swamp, the hardships, he needs to remember where he's come from and where he's going back to, you know. So he's gonna, and I think I think Lump will find it inspiring as well. Right, here we go. In mountains and mine shafts, gold, silver and mud, the floods and the landslides determined our blood. The dwarves' shining gems, the trolls' toughest stone, from hardship our domain was sown. Crags, crags, always my heart in the crags. How far feet roam through dusk and gloam, my pickaxe remains at home.
Is that actually to the Welsh national anthem? With that Welsh national theme?
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. I hope all of Wales rose up at that and did that. I'm going to say that's going to give your companions each a +1 on their attempts to escape in this round, as you hear this echoing through the swamp. In fact, I would say actually, Lump and Regina and Reginald, that as you hear this music kind of echoing through, you see the light of these creatures for the first time waver slightly, like diminish for a moment instead of increase, which is what they seem to have been doing before. And the voices seem to grow quieter, at least for a moment, as Weddle's voice rings out through the swamp. Good stuff, Weddle. All right, Regina, Reginald, and Lump. All of you will get a chance to go at the same time, so it's up to you whatever order you want to do. You're going to be doing this at +1.
Well, I know Lump is a bit busy singing along with words, apart from the fact that the only words that he knows
Just
is
standing in
crags.
one place as the creatures come at you. You're like, wait, sorry.
Just slowly walking, but every time the word crags happens, he's like, crags! Crags!
This whole thing is a soccer match. Like all of a sudden,
think you'll
Lump's
find
like,
us all
this
a
scarf
rugby
comes out,
match.
the long
Yeah.
scarf. No.
just does the football out Lump. Who are you? Who are you?
Oh man, yeah, I love it. Okay, so whatever order everyone wants to go in. Who wants to go first?
Let's get me
I'll go
out of the
first.
way. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
All
fly.
the
You're
in the
going
direction-
faster.
I'm just gonna fly in the direction of the song as fast as I can.
Okay,
Using up my last light fate to
Okay.
try to reach Weddle.
seems
the song.
reasonable.
Wow. I drop a 1
Hmm.
and give you a dark fate.
Give me a dark fate. Let's see. Let's put that bad boy right back over there.
The
The
one
realm
single
explodes. The end.
There is one single tree in the whole swamp, and I just fly directly.
Yeah,
face
just
planted into it.
yeah, like damn it. Yeah, even with the +1, that's not
Yeah, I've
not gonna
already
do it.
calculated the +1.
Regina, you fall behind. Maybe you're just sort of like humming to yourself. Like you have to stop before.
I keep looking back whether I can retrieve the javelin.
Yeah, exactly. The javelin, always the javelin. It's like Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. Like leave it behind, leave it behind. Okay, so Reginald, let's see what happens with you.
Okay. So
Up
it's going to
next.
be a +4, and I'm going to use my light fate.
Okay.
Come on.
How many does this leave you with, by the way?
0 now.
That looks promising. Actually, although you have a decision to make, don't you?
Yeah. Right, hang on. I'll drop one of the threes. Gonna have to. Can't risk it.
Okay. So you're talking about, what do we got?
16.
16, okay. So that is going to be a standard success. I am going to say that is a success. So that's going to be enough for you to escape. But you are going to be subject to targeting on your way out because of the standard success. And now you were down at 0 light fate. Okay, let's see. And that's going to lead us to Lump, who's going to make his escape with that extra +1 of inspiration.
Paranjay, did you want to say something just then?
Yes, I rolled the wrong thing. I rolled resolve instead of agility.
Oh, we'll roll that again then.
No, it's just 2 more. So it would be 12 instead of 10.
12 is not going to be enough. Sorry.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I
was like, yeah. Oh, no, it doesn't. Not
DM said
enough.
it. I was just going to roll it again.
No, I mean, like, if it's just adding 2, then, so. Sadly, that is not enough. I'm sorry to say, Regina. Go ahead, Lump. Go ahead and make your roll.
Cool. So, can you just remind me, is this Brawn?
It is Brawn, yes.
Brawn, excellent.
And +1 because of Weddle's song.
I'm also going to stick a light fate on to give myself another dice.
How much does that leave you with, Lump?
Now 2.
2, okay.
Oh my god.
Well, that might not be that bad, actually.
It might not be a bad result, but it was an awful roll.
It was a bad roll.
I'm going to drop one of the ones.
So we're looking at a 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. So it is a standard success, which means, again, you also will be subject to targeting. And Weddle was already out of there. So what that means is Regina is going to get 2 that are going to attack Regina. And we are going to get 1 each on Reginald and Lump. So, Regina, I need you to make 2 defense tests here, after which Lump and Reginald will be out of danger, and it's just Regina that we're talking about here. But we'll start with Regina making that first test. Hold on a second.
Here we go. 16.
Oh, God, all right. I just heard, like, there's a kid, like, having fun screaming outside, like, playing with other kids. But for a moment, I'm like, son! Like, I just, like, the whole day, I've just been like, is my son okay? Like, is he... Oh, God.
I know.
Parenting. You know the drill with this. Yeah, fine. But
yep, so 16 for my first.
Okay, that is enough, yes.
And it's a great success because I've got 2 5s.
So you take no damage at all from that attack, then?
Yay, and then a 14 for the second.
That is not enough. So you are going to take damage on that second one.
I rolled those with the +1 from Weddle. I hope this was correct.
Yep. Okay. You are going to take from that one that you got hit by 4 points of psychic damage. Excuse me.
Okay.
4 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
All right. And then we have 1 each on Reginald and Lump, after which point they'll be to safety. So, Reginald, you up first.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly, Reginald. Parental senses activate.
Can't look.
I wanted to wait. It's like the classic don't actually anyone do anything when you throw up the thing. Very nice. All right, that is a great success. All right, Reginald, you do not take any damage at all from that attack. You are also now safe with Weddle. Lump, let's see how you do with your defense test.
Resolve, correct?
Yes.
It is a 9.
That is not, unfortunately, going to be enough.
Doesn't feel like it's going to be enough.
Nope. Okay. That is 4 damage from the psychic attack.
2 teeth fall, half of them said.
I think you have 3 life now. If that I need to have more creatures with psychic attack you. It's amazing how not having to deal with armor is nice.
How many did I just take?
4. I think you had 7 before.
Yes,
so.
I have 3 hit points left.
Okay. All right, there you go. But you are now safe, though, with Weddle. So the only person left here is Regina,
in this place,
who is 1 turn away. So Regina, since we already know what you're going to do, unless the 3 of you collectively want to do something, you can't like re-assist her, because that would just be getting you back into combat. And Weddle's song was great, but I'm not going to allow Reginald and Lump to start singing like some, like Maybe like if
Everybody,
Mike's
shouting
gonna start
Regina,
singing
"This
something to
way!"
God Save for the Queen or something like that. It's
Quick, start a band.
Lord.
exactly. So Regina, this is just going to be you. So if you're going to make your escape here, I'm going to
Can I
have
donate
you.
a light fate?
Yeah, it's true. No light fate. So you're just going to
No?
be making your regular attack. You're only one time away from escaping, though.
I can't like
Okay.
just slyly give you a light fate, can I? Can't just like donate you a light fate.
Can
No.
you do that?
No, damn
Oh,
it.
sorry.
There
I'm
are
so tired,
abilities
don't
that
say
let you
so.
do that.
Yeah.
Nope, that would be a little.
Okay. I'll
Impossible.
try to now hone in on the song and find the right direction instead of flying into stuff.
Right.
Okay, here we go. 16?
Let's see, and that's count at 6. Yes, so that is a success. You are going to take. You can be targeted by these creatures, but you are going to escape. You're not going to be targeted by all of them, though. Just one. You need to make one defense test as you're trying to get away from that last one.
You know what? I just got a light fate. Let's use it before I die.
Okay.
Because that would be bad. And I drop a 3 for 15.
Yep, and you still have 2, right? So that's double. So it's a great success, and you do not take damage as you go flying into the woods. And as you can see these things kind of gradually drifting away, you just hear, "We would be with you forever," into the swamp, and then disappear out of existence. All right, we are out of combat, folks. Let me welcome everybody who is here for episode 327 of Pen and Pixels. You're watching Talisman Adventures and a crew of people that just barely escaped a group of rather dangerous creatures that looked awfully like will-o'-the-wisps, a lot like them anyway, and are now back here in the marsh. I am joined, as always, by Pyre and Jade, by Darksaber2K, by Peripheral Mike, and Undeveloped Bruce, who are playing for you this game that we really love, which is sponsored, of course, as always, by Pegasus Spiele Talisman Adventures, is what we're looking at here. So, all right, you have escaped, and you are now sitting in the swamp. And that means we have got Mortara here with a subscription, a resub, 58 months. Thank you, Mortara. Forgot to say hello. Also, totally not a clutch. Is that his clutch? What are we looking at? Clutch dance. Oh, the music. Yes, no question about that. And yes, 58 years of support. Incredible. Thank you so much for doing this before the existence of the internet was even there. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Mortara. Thank you for the resub, and and welcome everybody to the show. So, you folks are now here. The voices are gone, the lights are gone, and the sound of creatures around you has vanished, except for the typical buzzing of mosquitoes and creaking of the toads and frogs. But otherwise, you are here on your own, the 4 of you.
All right. My vote goes on continuing our way, whichever way gets us out of the swamp. What do you
Just
think,
falls
guys?
to the ground and just coughs out blood. Feels so good.
I have the worst headache, and I have not been drinking, and all of this is horrible, and I do not have any more javelins.
Reginald just collapses. You just hear like slightly watery version of, "That's why you have to bury the dead."
Don't like this place.
I hate this place.
Word's right. Keep moving. And Lum kind of, with trembly arms, picks himself back up. Yeah, and makes that noise.
You're right.
I tried to pick Reginald up. Moving.
He forces himself up with the assistance of Regina and the scythe. Just like,
Hey, Reginald, as you look off a little bit away, you see the brightly shining form of Boots. And Boots is sort of standing not that far from you and is kind of looking over his shoulder at you.
So that's where he got to. Just thought he decided to no pout for a while. Don't blame him.
Could he have bitten those things? Like ate them? Like ghost eat ghost or something? Eats a dog? You know what I mean.
He might have been able to help. Might not have come out the best. Seemed cruel to try. Plus, he was nowhere around.
Does he know the way out of the swamp? Can he help? Is he like a trekking dog?
Hopefully, I'll see. And I stagger over to Boots.
And so when you get close, now you've obviously known Boots all your life. And so you know Boots quite well. You've never really had the experience of what Boots looks like right now because he is standing there, and as you get closer, he takes a few steps away and then stops and then kind of looks over his shoulder again as if waiting.
You know the way out, boy?
And he you see his ghostly tail wag.
I see. I think we should follow Boots.
Agreed. I'm always up for following a dog.
Lead
I'm
on,
not
boy.
like really following.
Yeah, this is the part where we need Weddle to actually take a moment. I mean, not Weddle. We need Bruce to take a moment and just like if you could just paint your dog in like the the blue light paint. You know what I mean? Like it like under lights, particularly, it just like does this weird glowing awesome thing.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
I'm sure your dog will be fine. We'll have that ready in a couple of weeks. Okay, so as you follow Boots, you all have this sort of strange experience as you're wandering through. Despite this sort of despair, you feel it getting slightly lighter as you go. It's actually been daytime, although it's getting darker now. But as the sky is getting darker, you can see the cloudy skies make the early evening as you're heading towards it seem more like night. But over time, the terrain changes and the path becomes clearer and easier to follow. And the marshlands grow drier and the surrounding terrain has transformed more to scrub growing on peat. So instead of just, you're actually standing on much more firm, albeit still kind of, damp ground. The air smells fresher and saltier, and you think you hear the distant sound of waves crashing on the shore. And then suddenly, just as twilight is about to give way to nighttime, in front of you, looming out of the darkness, you see a massive hedge of thorns and brambles. And they tower above you, like this thing's got to be 15 feet in height. Towering above you.
Admin check. How long have we been walking for?
Probably since Boots started leading you, maybe a couple of hours. And
Okay, cool.
probably you're now 5 hours clear of the fountain, something like that, maybe 6.
So a couple of hours since combat.
Yes, I would say so.
I'm just going to roll some dice because as we are walking, you notice that Lump's injuries appear to just be closing up because trolls
his
have the
internal
ability
injuries?
Yeah,
Okay.
and his external injuries. He stopped bleeding essentially.
Yes.
But trolls have the special ability regeneration, which means trolls can regenerate. When you roll a 6 on the Kismet die during combat, you immediately regenerate 1d6 life or 1 wound. Out of combat, you regenerate 1d6 life or 1 wound per hour. So
Okay.
I'm going to roll 2d6.
And I should mention, by the way, that that's for everybody in the party, that you can, that recover thing that I talked about before, that you can recover outside of combat as well, if you wish. And you can do that, excuse me, equal to a certain number equal to your resolve. So if I take a look here at the recover skill, not spells, not that either. I need my skills list. I had it a second ago. I was just looking at this.
Did I roll any 6s on the Kismet die in combat? That's a bit I didn't read before that. Oh, I did.
Okay, yes. So, so basically the question is, you could take a recover action during a short rest. Now, to do that, you would actually need to stop moving for a little while and take a short rest. If you did that, a recover action which is taken during a short rest is automatically a great success, which means that you recover 1d6 life. And you can do that in number equal to your resolve. So you can take a number of recover actions each day equal to your resolve, if people wanted to do that.
As we're moving along, Reginald does seem very dazed and confused. Like, despite Boots being quite easy to spot,
Yeah.
he's stopping every now and again and seems to lose where he is. And like Reginald's just not sure where to go, despite a very obvious ghost dog pointing the path out.
Okay.
Are you okay? What are you looking at?
Having trouble focusing.
Would you like some alcohol?
It might not work, but could do with a rest.
Yeah,
Trying
let's
They
just
got
stop
in my
here
head.
for an hour.
They got in your head. Are they still there?
No, but yeah, and points to like his bleeding ears. He's like, I ain't supposed to do that.
Maybe we should try alcohol. Who's currently carrying my alcohol?
Is it on Bob?
It's on Bob. That's good. So, I bring Reginald some alcohol.
Right.
Much obliged.
Let's have a sit here. Then we'll have a sit down. Rest a little bit. Some of you, I don't know what happened, but some of you, it's not looking too great. I feel fine, but
It's just a scratch.
Reginald actually smirks and says, I feel like death.
Lumber's going to go over to Reginald, and there's a moment where he kind of sort of leans Reginald's head up like he's inspecting him almost. Can I see if there's any like major injuries that we can try and treat? Because I have heal.
You could certainly attempt to take a look at that. I should mention, by the way, to the party that, of course, I know you do have a little bit of time pressure because of the whole thing with Morris. So I don't, want to push anyone in a particular direction. But you're, as always, having to balance out, time versus your own desire not to fall over, since you did just take a lot of damage in that last fight. So, just keeping all of those things in mind.
Yeah. I just restored 2 HP.
Okay, thanks to the recover thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have? You said you do have heal.
I do have heal. Yes. Is there anything I can do to try and kind of battlefield treatment Reginald?
Let's say that I will have you. Do you have any focuses in heal?
I do not know. Just heal as a skill.
All right. I think that heal will be able to tell you, allow you to determine what may or may not be going on with Reginald.
Cool.
I don't know that it will help you heal him, but it might at least let you know what the deal is with him.
Okay. So that's 3d6 plus.
Plus your
I think
aspect.
if you've
I
got
think
a
would be this kid.
healer's kit,
which
you
would
can
be
use it
insight.
during a rest.
Yeah, I
Remember
don't
we
have
did that. We did that with previous characters in this campaign.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. Let's see.
Oh, there we are. First aid. May restore another's lost life and might heal wounds. Can't use first aid on yourself. Requires a healing test. And I think you may need a healing kit as well.
Does anybody have a healing kit?
I actually do.
Okay, so I'm going to roll to see if I can see what's wrong with you. I'm going to roll a 14 with 2 5s.
I would say that what you think, it's hard lump to tell, except that there are certainly friends that you've traveled with before have sometimes had injuries that do not seem obvious to you on the surface. And that's very confusing to you because you're very used to you get bludgeoned repeatedly, then you take time. And you obviously knew that not everyone has your good fortune of being able to just feel better over time the way the trolls can. But This seems to be something greater than that, or at least more hidden from you than that. There's something internally that seems to be bothering Reginald, but it doesn't seem to be physical, at least not obviously so.
So it's not like there's no, like, if I'm sort of kind of examining him, and like there's no like big splashes of blood that have come from inside him, like in his body or anything like that, or like a bone sticking out of his shoulder. So I'm just like, problem not here. I sort of tap your torso, I sort of tap your head. Problem here.
That hurts, by the way, Reginald. You're like, ow.
Just mechanically as well, so the pit party is a bit clearer as well. One of the drawbacks of using psychic combat is you become disorientated the more you use it, so that's why he's acting a bit confused.
I see.
Which is cured by a short rest, but that's just for the benefit of people.
Yep. And yes, you could do first aid on him if you wish, Lump, using that healer kit.
So I just make a motion with my hand like that. It looks like a swishy motion. I go, stitch wounds.
He rummages around and pulls out his healing kit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Take the healing kit. Very gingerly opens it because it looks a little smaller than the one he's used to.
It does seem sort of like a little kid's kit. You're just kind of like, what?
Very gingerly picking up thumb and forefinger, the needle and thread, and there's like a couple of bits and pieces where Reginald has fallen over and like bashed himself on a rock or something like that. Like, just start stitching them up. And
can we just take a moment to get the image for chat of Weddle sitting on a rock, maybe slightly idly playing away on Weddle's instrument, while Regina is sitting on the back of the donkey or something like that, kind of looking off into space, while a big troll is basically sewing up a ghoul. Can I just take a moment to set that visual, because I love this.
Because if anybody wants to make any character art, this is the scene you need to make.
Please, that would be the best. Okay.
This is the scene.
So I need you to make, please, a healing test for me, Lump, against DC 14.
Okay, cool. Yes, that's just... So I don't have a first aid focus, so it's just 3d6 plus insight, I believe?
That's right.
Insight. Nope, that's not going to work.
No life my is mouth.
Son of your ear. Son of your eye.
You like sew his hand to his side, like,
I knew I should have used a light fate.
Sadly, that does not work.
Dang it.
Okay, so that's not going to work. Are you doing a recover action though, Reginald? Because that's Lump's turn.
I did use one. I got.
That's how you got that back.
Yeah.
So what are you up to? You said 2 points.
2 points. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're at 6 out of 17.
And my psychic debuff is gone now.
Right.
I forgot about recover actions. I've done healing because troll, and now can I do healing because troll and recover?
You can't. It's not that. It's that you can't do heal and recover. You were attempting to heal him.
Oh, I see.
So you can't recover because it's only a short rest.
Weddle
and Regina, though, you still have technically your short rest to do one of these things if you'd like. You could try to recover spell points. You could try to recover life. In the case of Weddle, you could try to recover life. Or
I rolled to recover life.
Did you?
Got
okay.
5. I just didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So you're at 21 out of 23.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Cool.
I also rolled to recover and recovered 2.
So you're at 9 out of 24. Lovely. What resolve do you have, Regina?
12.
No, because I had you at 7 out of 24.
No, I was at 10 out of 24, and now I recovered 2.
You were at 10. Did you take the last 3 on the way out because those creatures were attacking you? Remember I said that you were getting targeted as you were trying to escape?
Yeah, but I had a great success there, didn't I?
Oh, yes. No, you did.
Let me double check.
I think you did. Because you got
Yeah, so we must not have caught up on the... Okay, yeah, maybe I just was not... That's fine. Well, we need to make sure that we always double check with each other to make sure we're on the same point.
I would have admitted if I...
No, that's fine. No, I know you would. So, okay, so 12 then we're talking about. Yep. All right, so 12 out of 24, 0 light fate, yes? 6 out of 17, Reginald, 0 light fate. And Weddle is 21 out of 23, 1 out of 6 light fate? I have you at?
Yep.
Okay, and then lump 11 out of 24. And you still have 2 light fate?
I do, yes.
Okay.
2 light fate, 11 out of 24.
Okay, so battered and bruised, but the party is still together. Okay, so you have taken this rest as you are sitting by this brambly hedge as it grows ever darker. It is now evening of the 3rd day since you left Grey Mist. And one petal
Once I'm done,
remains on Morris's
I want to
rose.
go over to the bramble hedge.
Okay.
I want to say, hey, brambly hedge, what's on the other side of you?
Oh yeah, you speak to plants. I keep forgetting this.
Silence.
Hey, are you asleep? Brambly hedge.
No response, Regina, which is odd. Typically, most normal plants should be responding to you.
Yeah, sometimes they don't know what they're saying, but at least they respond.
Yep.
I get closer and have a closer look. Maybe this is like a dead hedge. Dead hedges maybe don't speak.
Let's see. Let me have you...
I don't want to touch it because it might be poisonous.
Right. Let me see. Let me have you... Oh, thank you. I wonder if... I know who L0 is. I wonder if L0 is here. No, he's not. He's over on my channel. L0 is a good dude who plays a lot of Pokemon randomizers and stuff like that. Okay. So, let's see. So you, as you're sort of getting close to it, I think I'd like you to make a notice test for me, please, Regina, as you sort of come close to look at this thing. Which is wits. That's correct.
Okay. I do have that, so it's 3d6 plus 1. Roll.
Okay, so we're looking at a 13. So the only thing I would say, the information you're able to gather from this is that this strikes you as remarkably robust, Regina, like very healthy. I shouldn't say, how do I put this? It's a disturbing looking, like brambly, prickly hedge, but it seems to have it seems to be not dead or dry. It seems to be very much a living thing, but it seems almost unnaturally vital. Like it's big. First of all, you've never seen a hedge this big or this long. And it seems just like in the peak of health, not just brown, but also green shoots with very sharp, and I'm talking a good inch long, like spikes and things like that off of these thorns, off of this brambly hedge.
I'll try to flatter it. You're a really good-looking hedge. You could be a hedge out of a fairy tale. Is there a big castle on the other side of you?
Silence.
Are you too good for me, hedge? Is it that?
Relentlessly silenced.
I take out my spear.
Okay. Not your javelin. This one's your spear, right?
I don't have any javelins.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
still have
left.
my
I want to
spear.
make sure, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carefully poke the hedge. Hey, hedge.
Okay. Let's see. I would like you to make an athletics check if you have that.
I do have that. Yes.
Okay. So 3d6 plus athletics. This is not a particular...
Agility?
Yeah, why not? Agility.
Okay. $17 and possibly a great success.
Okay. So you poke this thing into the hedge, and as you pull the spear back, you can feel as if it's being grabbed. And so you're kind of like, what? Huh! Like, and you managed to pull it free, but something was definitely grasping at or trying to hold the spear from being pulled out.
I knew knew you were alive. You can't trick me. Ha ha.
Silence.
Okay, I turn back from the hedge and go back to my companions. There is a really, really mean hedge over there. It attacked me and it doesn't want to talk to me. But it is alive. I look around for a reaction.
Do the hedges usually talk to you, Regina?
Yes, the hedges usually talk to me, Weddle.
I see.
I'm just finishing sewing up the ghoul, and I'm just like,
That's my
very take one too many head bashes.
You know, we sprites, we are supposed to live in lovely communication with all nature. And I can tell you nature usually talks a lot of shit that you don't understand. And so I can ask nature. I might not understand the answer, but I can ask them. And usually they at least talk back. You might not understand what they say, but they talk back. This hedge does not talk. Maybe it thinks it's too good for me, but I personally think it's just a meanie because it also tried to take my spear. So
Reginald rummages in his pack and pulls out and hit the emergency acorn. He goes, a tree dropped this on her last time she tried to speak to some plant.
Yeah, so I stole his baby.
It's true.
I'm gonna give
leans
Reginald
into
his
them.
his first aid kit back. I'm just gonna say, ghouls sometimes fall apart. Lumps sometimes help ghoul friends. Sometimes work, sometimes not. He looks over to Regina. You know, can't fix that.
It's best to just go along with it.
Regina just stares. You know,
Why fight hedge when fly over?
it's really tall. There's a lot of flying. So I try to talk to it first, you know, like civilized people.
Is this it's a thorny bush, and we got a rose with some thorns on it. Is it the same kind of bush as this rose this dude's got?
Hey, hedge, are you a rose bush?
Silence.
See? Don't know.
Reginald
answering.
would like to have a look at the hedge now. He's feeling a bit more like his brain stitched back together.
Okay.
Although he's still very, very pain.
Okay. Very, very pain. Okay. And yeah, I was just realized, I was like, I wonder if I overspoke. Thank you for the follow, Deborah Kun on GOG.com. I wonder if I overspoke about the foot, but no, it's 4 meters, which works out to right around a little over 13 feet. So I was right. Pretty damn tall.
Is 4 cell 6?
4. Is that right? Yes.
4.1 Celsius.
4.1 Celsius.
4 1/3 Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you walk over to it, Reginald, you can see, and I will have you do the same thing that I had Regina do, which I think was a notice test, I think is what I had you do, Regina,
Okay.
I believe. So a notice test for this is what you would do. And actually, Reginald, sorry. What'd you get?
15.
Yeah, this is a little bit more even than what you would have had, than what Regina had. So it's very clear to you that this hedge is not naturally occurring.
Okay. No hedge gets this way by itself.
Hedge keep out or hedge keep in? I look over to Regina again.
Hey, dog.
What do you mean, like, it doesn't get like this by itself?
Some things made it this way.
It's a magical hedge?
It's maintained. Brambles go pretty much everywhere they want to go. They wouldn't be neat like this.
It's also pretty new, by the way, Reginald. This hasn't been there that long. And for it to be this tall and this long and this, relatively speaking, new, it's unusual.
The size of the thorns don't match the size of the hedge.
Lum just sits down on the nearest rock and sort of goes, fire?
No.
Why not?
You can't just burn it.
Why not?
You just have to. Can't just destroy nature because it's inconvenient.
But you said it's not natural.
Make way through, not harm rest of edge.
You can't do that with fire. You don't
Careful,
control
fire.
it.
Very careful fire.
I've
Dig.
seen forests devastated by careful fires.
Dig, got through.
Hey,
Yeah,
hedge.
we'll dig a tunnel through the hedge. I love
My-
tunnels.
Might be weasels.
Not a
Hey.
fan of weasels.
Hey, hedge.
Better than magic.
Can you open
hedge.
up? Let us through. Hedge, let us through. Open up.
I'd like to
You look
hold up the
hopefully
rose and
silence.
sort of look at... Can I compare the rose to the hedge?
Make a...
There's a look and a shrug between Weds and Lump at this point. We're just like, what is going on?
Make a survival check for me, Reginald. You can probably... What are your focal points?
I just have base survival, so no focus.
Okay, yeah. Then survival.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Let's see. Dark Fate. It grows 5 meters. No, God damn it.
It grabs you by the ankle.
It's just like, no, I can talk. No, it's hard to say, Reginald. I mean, something does seem kind of vaguely similar about these two things, but you can't really place what that would be.
They both have spiky bits.
Would I be able to fly high enough to have a peek over the hedge?
You would suspect so.
Okay, so I just fly directly up and
So-
peek over the hedge. I'm not close to the hedge.
Right, exactly.
I have realized this is a mean hedge. I'm just like,
You're giving it some
50.
distance.
yeah, and then I'm just like,
So when you do that and you're flying now about, 14, 15 feet above the ground, so, a few feet above the hedge, you can see that on the other side of the hedge, quite close by actually, is the ocean. And you can see waves kind of rolling in on the shore, as if you have reached the other side. And you can also see what looks like a small village that is down by the water.
I fly down again. There is the ocean and a village on the other side.
Fishberg?
Nope. Okay. Could be. I don't know.
Village near ocean.
Yeah. Could be Fishberg.
Sounds like where we want to go.
Through
Um,
edge. Fire.
No fire.
I think this Maurice man's gonna die if we don't do something tonight.
Yeah.
How long does the hedge go in each direction? We've discussed height.
A long way. Certainly farther than you can see. You can try to obviously go up the northern side or up towards the north or down towards the south, but it goes a very, very long way.
I could insult the hedge. I'm not sure it will help, but I could.
Quick table question. Bruce, what weapons is Weds carrying?
A rapier. He was literally about to just lose patience and start trying to hack a tunnel with his rapier.
And
Reginald slaps his head.
Yeah, Reginald's got a scythe.
Yes.
And Regina's got a spear. Correct.
I literally have a goddamn scythe.
So I'm literally still sat on the rock. So Lump's like, blades. Blades.
Reginald like looks
Cut.
at his scythe for the
Blades.
first time and is just like, They really did a
Blades.
number in my head.
Choppy, blades.
Lump, you are wise. Yeah. Go on then, Mr. Scytheman.
I hand it over. I pass it over to Lump.
No blades.
Just swing.
No blades. Pacifist.
It's a hedge. And it's
No
a
use
mean
weapon.
hedge.
No use weapon. Take
Look,
oath
hedge.
many years ago. Pacifist. Now anyone fight. Pacifist. No blades.
Okay.
This is a proper, like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I would like to intimidate the hedge.
Okay.
I would hedge. Look, we need to get on the other side, and we have a big scythe. We can do this a nice way, or we can do it the scythe way. What do you want?
Silence.
I pass Regina the scythe.
I take the scythe. Again, hedge. I'm giving you a chance here.
Holding the scythe like down because the scythe is like 4 times the size of Regina.
We're just looking at Reginald and like, your scythe, you prune.
You ever seen me use it?
Good point.
No reaction from the hedge.
The,
None.
the hedge does not react. It is stonewalling you, or should I say stone hedging you.
Gemini. What kind of blade is the scythe?
It's a sharp-edged blade, so it would be slashing. Would be the kind of damage that it's doing. It's not a magic scythe, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's curved.
Okay,
Curved.
So the attack would-
yes.
That would have been real unfortunate. Oh no, these wisps are killing us. If only we had a magical weapon. Reginald just leaning on his
Oh,
magical
this whole
scythe.
thing?
So
No.
the what is the base aspect for the scythe?
Ooh, good question. You can tell I rarely use it. I mean, I would have thought it'd be brawn.
Okay.
Yeah, I would suspect it would be a brawn weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, because I do have melee, so at least I could. Hedge, I'm gonna scythe you. Just saying. I'll do it.
The
Yeah,
hedge
Then you're not-
stares back
you-
stone hedgily.
You're not gonna look that good then afterwards.
Yeah, brawn.
Okay. I look around to my companions. If nobody has any objections, I'm now gonna scythe the hedge.
Cut hedge.
It's better than fire.
Yeah,
We can try both.
we're all
Okay.
here to support you.
Thank you.
We're right
Um,
behind you.
So, Lump, could you get behind me just in case this thing grabs the scythe so you can pull it back, please?
Stands up. Comes,
Wonderful.
stands behind Regina. With this sort of like motion like he's about to catch a wasp.
Okay,
He
I'm gonna
doesn't- he
scythe
doesn't
the
want
hedge.
to touch you, but he's sort of like,
Okay. So you make a massive first cut, Regina. Despite the fact this weapon is large, you use your incredible strength, all the will of your people. You take all of that, place it into your blow. It slashes across. There's this as you cut through, and you sort of look around triumphantly to your companions, and as you do so, you can see that your companions have big smiles that eventually, or I should say rather quickly, drop away. And as you look back, you can see that the hedge is regrowing as fast as you cut it.
Well, that could have gone better. I think.
fire.
Brambles
Well, look
definitely don't do that.
I look over at Reginald. Now fire.
Fire.
Nod nature.
You're a fake hedge.
How thick was the hedge?
Lump, your logic is impeccable.
The hedge is
small.
probably about 15 to 20 feet thick.
Thick.
Right, so we're not going to open a hole and throw people through it.
Not at least with cutting it, it seems. Not through using these means that you just did.
I mean, I could fly over and ask the people in Fishburg that maybe there's a magic word for opening the hedge or something. Or fire. I'm up for both.
Lumgus sits back on his rock.
Weddle would like to use his only offensive spell, Lightning Bolts.
Okay.
Please.
Let me have you make that lightning bolt. Let me have you make that test then.
Ball fire.
Which is, what did I say for the lightning bolt test?
Lightning does set trees on fire, so this could work.
Mm-hmm.
Sky fire.
My intent is not to set it on fire.
It's to cut
Just-
through it, though, right?
Then maybe we should shoot
Make a
lightning
big
bolt.
hole.
Yeah.
Can
okay.
you shatter a hedge?
Only if it's a non-magical hedge.
Oh, yeah. Suspect it is magical at this point.
Yeah, I'd hope it is.
All
Yeah, that
right.
was
So,
the botany science in Fishburg has gone way out. of hand. This is some Raccoon City level stuff.
okay. Go ahead then, and let's have you make a spell casting test, please.
I'm going to sit with the donkey and make sure the donkey doesn't try and eat the hedge.
Yeah, the hedge is.
That says-
The donkey's like, okay, so it looks like 6, 1, 2, 5, and 2. So a 16, yes. So that is going to be enough, and that is a standard success. So here's what I'll say. This works, but you will need to spend 1 additional spell point, or you will be strained by the spell casting, which means that you would get a -2 penalty to spell casting tests until you got a short rest. So you could either take that -2 penalty or pay 1 additional spell point.
Well, if I pay the additional spell point, I've got no more spells until I take another rest.
Then you might need to take a
Anyway.
strain then in that event.
I think I'll take a strain, yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. And this time, the lightning bolt, and it zaps through, and you can see that the brambles do not grow back instantaneously. This breaks through about a third of the way through the hedge, because you can see that it cuts in a good maybe 5 feet or so.
Reginald follows suit and throws another lightning bolt.
Okay, let me have you do the same thing, please.
Yeah, hang on, where's me bonuses?
Just this like big hand clapping applause in the background. Sky fire.
Yeah. This is the best.
20.
20 will definitely work. A standard success, not a great success. So same thing to you, Reginald. Extra spell point, or you're going to take a strain from this.
I will spend the extra spell point to leave me with 4.
Okay, so you do that, and now that cuts through another third. It looks like there's 1/3 left. You can see light on the other
cast
side.
lightning bolts.
All right, one more time.
Successful combat round we've had has been against the hedge.
It's been against the head.
This is the best fight we've had so far.
And this is a great success, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So
It
yes,
is a
that
success.
breaks the rest of the way through, and you do not have to spend an extra spell point now. And now you can see a very clear open hole through the hedge, although you note that the hole is gradually starting to get smaller as you look at it. Very gradually, though.
Better
I'll
hurry.
go
Let's
first,
leg
I'll
it
go
through the hole.
Time to go.
Let's go.
Come on,
Oh, the donkey
Come on,
behind you,
Boots.
Bob.
Move it, Bob.
Okay, so you pull the donkey through. The donkey seems very displeased at the prospect of going through a hedge, by the way.
I'm
So you-
pushing the donkey.
I was gonna
as well
say,
as anybody else is pulling
Is anyone
the
else pulling it?
donkey.
I'm pulling.
So Reginald's pulling, Lump is pushing. Come on, and you get through to the other side of the hedge, and as you look behind you, the brambles begin to fill in again. But you are now on the other side, and now that you've fought your way through this terrible hedge of thorns and brambles, the rest of you can finally see the open waters of the big, wide ocean. In fact, specifically, you have made your way. Sorry, forget that arrow. You have made your way here. All the way down there. And you can see the open waters of the big wide open ocean instead of the murk of a vast dank swamp. And you enjoy the fresh scent of a cool ocean breeze wafting off the waters. And there's one moment where you just feel absolute freedom and joy. And there it is. And then the wind shifts and the air is soon overcome by the fetid, foul stench of rotten fish. You appear to have found your way to Fishburg. And that is where we're going to bring our session to a close for this evening. Fishburg. Also Act 3, by the way, the final act, arrival in Fishburg. So you've made your way to the final act of this adventure. Good stuff, folks. I was not sure how you were going to handle that wisp encounter, especially since you were nice enough to give me a metric ton of Dark Fate. So I was just kind of like, pump it up, let's go. Difficult fight when you don't have a lot of spellcasters that are like casting spells directly at these things. And of course, you were already in a tough spot because of being in the marsh and the whole bit of being in Grey Swamp. So this whole thing sort of had some things that were kind of against you. But you managed to come up with some good ways to get out of it. We had Weddle's clutch song, which was very helpful. And we had everyone kind of working together to try to make their way through. And then managing to get to this hedge. And I wasn't sure how you were going to deal with this, although I love the idea of Regina trying to intimidate this magically growing, not natural hedge, which was not going to respond to you since it was magical, apparently. Yeah, I know, I did too, but this is a magical hedge, not a natural hedge, so we will see. And now Fishburg awaits. I cannot wait to see how Fishburg goes next time. And I'm really glad that we got to play, by the way, because I am in a much better mood now than I was at the beginning of the session, because, you know, love playing me some games. So with this wonderful crew. How did I hope you folks enjoyed this too, and let me start by asking again, good work on that song in particular, Bruce. That was a good idea, and was something else that allowed you to have this effect. And I love the image also of Lump being like, why don't you get calm, and just like slamming you into the quicksand further and further. And I'm just like, okay, let me just make a couple of mental calculations, couple foot lower in the sand and everything. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good session. Why am I talking as Weddle? Yeah. Fell in some quicksand, ran away, sang a song, attacked a hedge. Pretty solid stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was I thought it was really nice, sort of circularness to, you know, the troll of darkness and the void that we created that was turned against the enemies turned back on myself as the troll coming from the mist. You know, you know, the darkness and the light. It was very cool thematically in my mind. Yeah, no, really enjoyed this session, and the turnaround and Lump from, you know, super motivational, like, you know, genuinely made us as players feel much better about our lives, to okay, let's leave the donkey behind. Like, okay,
somebody never watched Neverending Story is all I gotta say. Atreyu. Oh man.
So yeah, you can find me on Twitter at BruceOnlyBruce. I'm still delaying my 24-hour stream just because I still have not got fiber internet at my new house. It's going on. I'm contemplating moving house again at this point.
Oh no. But, yeah, I mean, like, because for real, because internet matters, you know, like, for real.
It does.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will. I look forward to that. If it's any consolation, you came through, you know, loud and clear, so that's good. And congratulations again on the dog. We got a brief vision of the dog, and she looks really sweet. I very much miss my dog, so that's awesome, and I wish you the best. Thank you, Bruce, so much as always. Thank you also to Peripheral Mike. Mike, really good stuff as well. Again, like I said, the other side of the why don't you just get calm, you know, as you're like, you know, slamming Weddle into the sand. That was really funny. But then Lump also had not one but two times where Lump basically sacrificed himself to try to save his party members, both Weddle, and then there was another time when trying to come back and basically help Reginald along when he was trying to escape the wisps and all that. So, you know, Lump had that going on at the same time that Lump was just like, this sucks. Like this place is dreadful. And now we are going to see what happens now that you're on the other side. Maybe your destination is at hand. You needed to try to get to Fishburg. Your destination is at hand. Maybe you will have made it in time to save Morris, and you can get rid of this godforsaken quest lump. We will see. But Mike, how did you feel today about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I've been run off my feet with work recently, and probably similar to yourself, wasn't in the best frame of mind when I started. But my God, this has helped turn me around. It really has. It's really. I know it's late in the UK and it's late for Europeans, but it has really helped me sort of shift my state of mind. So I really appreciate that. I enjoyed it. It sans donkey sacrifice. I enjoyed everything about this. I think sacrificing himself isn't something that Lumpus going to make a big deal out of. I think it's going to be like when helping Weds out of the sand. It's just like, oh yeah, we'll just use me for leverage, but you'll sink further. Yeah, but you'll be free. Like that's fine. Yeah. Like you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So like there is an element of him that's like others first, him second.
Yep.
Which we'll figure out more when we probably get to Fishburg. And maybe actually sit down for longer than 5 minutes without something trying to eat us. But I love this. I absolutely love this. If you want to follow any of my antics and exploits, you can. All social media channels at Peripheral Mike. You can follow my Strongman journey on Instagram. I'll be posting stuff on Twitter as and when I can. And I'll also be streaming when I can as well. So stay tuned for that.
Good stuff. Thank you, Mike. And I'll make one note about these folks with ArvCon in just a moment. But before I do that, good stuff out of Mike. Also, good stuff today out of Reginald. Saber, the psychic combat thing, the effect that was going to have on you, I think you rendered quite effectively. I think that is exactly what it would look like. And it's one of those things where, like, maybe if there are others who are able to do the same sort of thing, it makes some sense to kind of stand and fight. But, with you increasingly having to... There's a cost to it, right? Like every time you do this, it's disorienting to use psychic combat. You are not a wisp, and so there are going to be dangers associated with that. But nonetheless, you I think had the right idea about how to manage it. And then I was loving at one point the idea that you're like, no fire because of nature, blah blah blah. And then Love's like, no cutting because only pacifist. And I was just sort of like, I could imagine like Weddle and Regina being like, are you kidding me? Like what? Like could all of you get consistent about what ethics you want to uphold today? About which it was really funny. How did you feel about today's session, Saber? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Well, I love the way that resolved with Lump going, well, it's clearly not natural. It's like, yeah, fair enough, burn it.
Yeah, burn it with fire. Yeah, that's true. You were like,
exactly.
yes, fire.
Yeah, natural stuff doesn't do that, burn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The psychic combat, wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it was, as an opening move, definitely the right move.
Oh, yeah.
The problem with Reginald is he can dish it out, but you can't take it. So after he took that first hit, it's like, yeah, I'm running away.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like physical attacks would have helped, but my belief was they wouldn't, and that was pretty much confirmed by the javelin attack that just went straight through it.
Exactly. Magic weapons might have been helpful there.
And at that point there, yeah, after that first hit, turning around and trying other spells was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Even your much beloved Gust of Wind, like even your, like, well, let me just do this. It's the insta-wind spell, right?
Are you kidding? You kept that thing at elite status for pretty much the entire encounter.
Whose fault is that? Look, I've got all these chips, okay, and I got to burn them. Like, what do you want from me?
But yeah, it's been great. I mean, that was actually a legit knuckle bite of an encounter as well. It was like, especially that with that final roll, it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was a lot of fun. The end is potentially in sight. We shall see what happens next with this fine bunch of people. And well, I'll be back next week with Ghost of Saltmarsh, and I'll be here tomorrow playing some Dead Cells and Baldur's Gate on my channel on Thursday. So I got a full calendar as usual when it comes to streams.
It's going to be some good stuff. Thank you, Saber. I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to popping in and watching some Baldur's Gate. Maybe that's going to be good times. And of course, yes, as you point out, we will see you next week with Ghost of Saltmarsh. Thank you, as always, Saber, for the help as usual with Moobot and Dashboard as well. And last but certainly not least, Pyron, Regina had a very eventful session, whether it was flying off into the swamp and then finding the first one to encounter the wisps, and then flying back and then throwing the javelin and then being like, okay, and then flying away, running into a tree, getting out of the tree, flying into the hedge, trying to intimidate the hedge, being like, listen, I love the idea too that Regina's sort of half annoyed at the fact that she can talk to plants anyway. So when you're just like, fine, what's going on? And then you're like, wait, then you get annoyed. You're like, no, I don't like doing this anyway, but you need to talk to me. All right, talk to me. You got a problem? But anyway, you nonetheless, and also it was helpful to be able to fly over it and see what's actually on the other side that you could end up reporting. So Regina had a lot going on, it seems to me, in that session. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I'm really, really happy that so far nobody pointed out that I brought a group of wisps back to the whole party. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, come this way. I mean, it was either that or they'd never
note,
see you again, right? Like,
It's
potentially.
what happens when you get feared in RPGs.
Don't aggro the... yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and considering the hedge, I mean, that it wasn't answering doesn't mean it's not listening, right?
It's true.
Right?
It could just be giving you the stare down then.
Yeah.
You know.
This has happened before, that like people not talking to me, so there we go. So I loved it tonight, of course, and I'm gonna be back on Thursday. I don't know with what yet. I played the newly released Songs of Conquest last Thursday, which is very similar to Heroes of Might and Magic, but it's a new game currently in depth, so in early access. I might continue the campaign because I really like that. Apparently, you're not the good one, but more like lawful evil.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Yep,
campaign,
that's what it
which
looked like.
surprised me.
That is what it
But
looked
yeah,
like.
there's a peasant uprising. Yeah, there's pesky peasants. Let's kill them all. And like, what? I'm sorry, what?
Did I just say that?
So but yeah, I'll have a look at what else is available, but we'll see. So yeah, Thursday it is. And then next Tuesday, of course, for D&D. And yeah, that's it from me.
Good stuff. Thank you, Pyron. And I will also mention to everyone in chat that these folks, with the exception of Pyron, who's going to be doing something else, but Darksaber and Peripheral Mike, and I believe Undeveloped Bruce, right? Bruce, I think you're joining us for this. And also Inanda and also Fleos, the group of 5 of those are going to be joining me during my charity event for ArvCon a week from Saturday, I believe is the time that we have scheduled for it.
Didn't realize Fleos was playing.
Yeah, Fleos is playing. So we're going to have, so it's going to be Saturday the 28th. On my channel, it is going to be a one-shot. I have given them no details yet, but I will have details for them soon about this one-shot event, and it will be, again, to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. Now, I need to point out that there has been this little mini-contest that's happened where each of the groups is basically talking about whether they're the top-tier group or the second-tier group based on how much money they raise for the charity. So in previous years, Esper Genesis, I think, won it a year or two ago. The Eberron, the Infinity and Beyond crew always like to call themselves like top tier, S tier, tier 1, whatever. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying that if you love, as I do, these GOG players, GOG channel players, is what I mean, then, you might want to make sure you show up for that event and give them some love by raising a whole lot of money. And there will be giveaways during that time, including games from our sponsor for this campaign, Pegasus Spiele, which sent me not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 6 games, 2 each of 3 board games, which were going to be, one is going to be a prize pack that's going to go to the 3rd top donator, and the other one is the other 3 are going to be given out separately. So actual board games that will be shipped to you. So if that sounds pretty cool, and if you want to support Pegasus Spiele, first of all, thank you to Pegasus Spiele. You should jump in and check us out. And of course, GOG.com is also giving codes away because they are super generous and awesome. And so they are also going to be giving away game codes. So you can pick that stuff up while still raising money for a great cause. We raised $7,000 last year. We've raised $20,000 since this event began, and I want to break that this year. I want to go above $7,000 if we can, so let's make it happen, folks. That's going to be happening a week from Saturday. So thank you again to the wonderful players of Pyron Jade, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and Undeveloped Bruce. We will not see Undeveloped Bruce next Tuesday, but we will see Bruce on the following Saturday. But we will see Ananda here in this spot as Saber, Pyron, and Mike join Ananda for D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing players of Talisman Adventures? Thanks, everybody, and also special thanks to my friends here for making me feel much better at the end of this than I was at the beginning. So thank you all, and I will see you folks next week. Bye for now. All right. that is going to do it for us for today. And again, I always feel better when I play anything relating to role-playing, but especially when I play it with good friends and good people like this. So thank you, everybody, for doing that, because made me feel good. And I hope you folks in chat enjoyed yourselves as well as much as I did. That is going to do it for me for today. And as I said, for those of you who were not here, my son had some serious dental work done this morning. He's doing okay, but it was kind of traumatic for everybody involved. And I'm still getting over this cough cold thing, as you might have been able to notice, but I am starting to feel better. And so anyway, that's why I was not streaming earlier today on my own channel. The next time that I stream, if it's not Friday, I may get in a stream before that. We'll see. But if I don't stream on before then, I will definitely be streaming on Friday with Esper Genesis. And the next time I stream, I will announce the full lineup for ArvCon and all of the events that are going to be taking place. So you'll want to make sure that you stop by for that. That would be awesome. Otherwise, though, I will be back here next Tuesday on Pen and Pixels for more role-playing with D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh with the crew, with Peripheral Mike, Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, and Ananda, and that will be happening next Thursday. So that is going to do it for me for this evening. Please follow us here on GOG.com if you haven't done so already. Thank you for the follow on my own channel, M. Fontana. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing us here. You can get those custom sub badges and emotes to use everywhere across Twitch, showing your support for the DRM free community. And please make sure to click through to our individual channels, because we've got stuff going on and stuff that, on our individual channels, like my charity event that I mentioned. All that stuff is happening on my channel. And I will also mention very quickly, I think I talked about this before, but launching in 2 weeks from today is my novel Greyshade, which has been published. It just got an excellent review from Green Man Reviews, and we are expecting other reviews coming in. Very proud of this book about a dark fantasy assassin with some Jason Bourne and Assassin's Creed basically kind of mixed together. And 2 weeks after the launch of Greyshade, we will have the launch of my Greyshade IP Kickstarter, which is going to have the last 2 books in that series, Renegade and Heretic, and which is going to have a tabletop role-playing game set in the Greyshade universe from Alligator Alley Entertainment. Athos Arts is publishing the last 2 books in that series as part of that Kickstarter, and we will have an audiobook from one Mr. Trendane Sparks, who is a professional audiobook narrator who does the audiobooks for Shadowrun and Battletech. So if all of that sounds good, and if you're like, man, I want to see that, then you know what to do, and you can stop by and check that out. It's very exciting. It's kind of a big thing for me this year, like a lot riding on it, so I hope people will stop by and check that out. But that's going to do it for me for tonight. I am on my way out of here, and I think that's going to be it, if I'm not mistaken, for today. I don't think we have anyone until Darksaber tomorrow, who's going to be popping in with some Dead Cells. So you will definitely want to make sure that you stop by for that. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for all the love. Thank you again to my wonderful players for making me feel much better, and I hope having a good time themselves. And I'm going to go check on my son and see how he's doing, and I will see all of you lovely people down the road. Until then, everyone, as always, be good to each other, and I'll see you here next Tuesday for more Pen and Pixels, or I will see you later on the week on my own channel as I talk about ArvCon stuff and do some more tabletop play. That's it for now. Bye. Much love to all of you, and everyone be good to each other. Have a good night.